that black hard. I'm just saying, my skills is whipping that crack hard. Look at LeBron James. The black guard, got big lips and black bras. As soon as I leave Earth, it's back to the stars. Right in the job, lives with jewelers and girls. It's axe knives if I rule the world. Yo, my mental vision, setting up intuition. And you really don't have nothing if you intuition. I work with light just to give birth to life. I was born in all forms in the perfect night. The black guard, got big lips and black bras. As soon as I leave Earth, it's back to the stars. I am the ruler, just like the Lion of Judah. My third eye was built like an iron computer that's dark matter and deep thought making your heart shatter. I sleepwalk, talking with smart chatter, so I don't need you to ride or die with me. I got ancestors that vibe from the other side with me, and they beam up life after death. We got noses on our eyes, cause the light's a breath. My priceless flesh, the final copy. Looks like Anunnaki. Black guard, got big lips and black bra. In the projects, wrist is whipping that black hard. I'm just saying, my skills is whipping that crack hard. Look at LeBron James. The black guard, got big lips and black bra. As soon as I leave Earth, it's back to the stars. Right in job, lives with jewelers and girls. Just axe knives if I rule the world. Yo, the black guard, got big lips and black bras. In the projects, wrist is whipping that black hard. My rhymes the same, my skills is whipping that crack hard. Look at LeBron James, that nigga's a black heart. And you wonder why we spit lead. Just the whole raps, niggas got big heads like old Max. Way that I'm writing is more than fame. This is the age of enlightenment. We the Moors in Spain. Now that your honor, I pray to a black vagina. Even the Pope prayed to the black Madonna. In the sun, I shine as bright as I be. I'm the greatest of all time, like Muhammad Ali. And when I die, baptized in the fire. Only fly at night, black skies are higher. Prior to job, my lives with jewelers and girls. Just axe knives if I rule the world, rubies and pearls. The black guard, got big lips and black bra. In the projects, wrist is whipping that black hard. I'm just saying, my skills is whipping that crack hard. Look at LeBron James. The black guard, got big lips and black bra. As soon as I leave Earth, it's back to the stars. Right in job, lives with jewelers and girls. Just axe knives if I rule the world. Yo, the black guard, infinite to infinite stars. It's infinite light. My life's got an infinite charge. The instruments to implement to give strength to your heart. The temple within, the imprint, mimic the art. Into the dark, the dragon spark the fathom from a higher consciousness. I talk with atoms, I live in the land, and I live in the stars, original man. I am the image of God, call me Tut, uncommon. I cut diamonds, so as long as I live, nothing can stop shining. You gon' need to be in the bins to drive me crazy. Live on CNN, hearing cries from Haiti. You know the people down there trying to hide them babies. The black guards, surrounded in light, attract stars. Black guards, surrounded in light, attract stars. The black guards, surrounded in light, attract stars.
I told you, all of my critics, I told you all that I was greatest of all time. All of you, I know you got it. I know you got it. But the man didn't come up. I'm a student of what I am. I told you, I'm the real champion. I told you, I'm the champion of the world. All of you know. All of my critics know. All of you know.
Open up the heavens, let the sunshine in. The Ducateers and Empress about to begin. Giving love to all the ancestors that's tuning in. Here comes the Ducateers with some more offering.
Going out to the all-man. I talk Shinnecock, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Washita, Blackfoot, Abenaki, Seminole, Skokie. You know me, the homie is OG. Coming to restore me, the crown of the all-man. I talk Shinnecock, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Washita, Blackfoot, Abenaki, Seminole, Skokie. You know me, the homie is OG. Coming to restore me, the crown of the all-man.
Swooping through like an eagle, run like a stinging bee. Ancestors is left, right in front of me. I'm all that red dynasty live inside me. Moon goddess since birth, check worth, native, make her greatness. And wild, knuckle style, rain dancer under the moon. Knock through the pearly gates, escape from Spain to Panama. We still ahead of y'all, never racing, just go blazing to the top of the dome. We stand tall, y'all, never lazy. So walk, clap, 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 clap. For all the more talking shit, never stop. A little petite, but never retreat. 10K is
Seminole and Skokie, you know me, the homie is OG. Coming to restore the crown of the home and my talk, Shinnecock, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Washita, Blackfoot, Abenaki, Seminole and Skokie, you know me, the homie is OG. Coming to restore the crown of the tomahawk chop, an entire city block, big buffalo people coming back to wreck shop. Shit, pop about it, pop, can't stop the rebirth for raw. Indigenous rock with the native chant, Christ war dance, at a glance. Anyone who clans, that's the Shechem war dance, Chief 7 feather owl, the Moorish code of power, make all these 14th Amendment rappers throw in the towel, wear compass and travel. These masons taking oaths, disrespecting ancestors, selling their souls to ghosts. I raise my glass, make a toast to Aboriginal roots, traveling through the cosmos. That's most, meaning that's on top. My wounded knee bandaged up, Black Hawk, what's up? Son of Moscow, we taking it back from the tomb of the bones when we coming in the rooms and we tune like Allman, Montauk, Shinnecock, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Washita, Blackfoot, Abenaki, Seminole, and Skokie. You know me, the homie is OG. Coming to restore the crown of the Allman, Montauk, Shinnecock, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Washita, Blackfoot, Abenaki, Seminole, and Skokie. You know me, the homie is OG. Coming to restore the crown of the OG.
The heavens let the sunshine in, the dignity is an empress. I'm about to begin, giving love to all the ancestors that's tuning in. Here comes the Judas kids with some more offering.
Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, sitting on the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Where the fuck am I going? Who the hell could I be? All this time I've been lost. Vessel trapped in the sea. Chains holding my legs. I just wanna be free. This picking my flow. Hell yeah, they know it. Heritage keep going. You can see it in my phenotypes and that damn Indian showing. This knowledge keeping me steady. 45 on my hip and my armor man stay ready. I hit the streets in my Chevy. Blunt burn, smell smoking heavy. Man, here you go, I got plenty. Prayers up for what's in it. In the land I lost many. Cause every nigga ain't feeling. And every man ain't willing. No D-Bows but Stanley. No heroes for my family. Why the pigs killing us daily. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, sitting on the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, sitting on the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Where the fuck do you come from? Kidnapping our babies. 11 million abortions. Whole country is scorched. Gave stealing my portion. Bitch, give me my land back. We ain't signed no contracts. Why you wasting all of our trust funds? We don't know who your dad is, but we know who your kinfolk is. Take the food off of my plate. Leave that shit with my folk. Motherfucking invader. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, sitting on the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, sitting on the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Hey ya, 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 hey ya. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, sitting on the invader. Invader, this is for most high. All praises to the most high. All praises to the most high. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Hey, yeah. 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 Hey, peace, peace, peace. You now under the sounds of your brother Hanu Kiel, aka A1, or aka Tanch in this one. And got another heavyweight jam, the usual. You know how we do this shit. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Shout out to all the Aborigines, North, South, Central, the Conjoined Islands, and the ones that were sent overseas. All right, so let's get into this bill, right? All right, man. I hope everybody having a good, all happy Mother's Day to all the ladies. Um, and we're gonna get into this, man. Give me 1 second, y'all. As you know, it's too late for me to be drinking coffee, so I ain't drinking no coffee right now. But I'm gonna still be hyped up. So hopefully we can get through this. Hopefully I ain't gonna make it too long. But for the most part, man, I hope everybody's safe. Everybody's good out there. Everybody's staying sucker and virus free. All right. We was on AP channel earlier building a little something. And certain niggas love to keep my fucking name in their mouths, man. That's how you know a lot of niggas got homo tendencies, cause the niggas they be thinking about us, man. Motherfuckers be making videos, constantly making videos, ain't talking about shit, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I said today, you ain't never gonna hear me say what we should do or what you should do. You just take the information from the videos, and hopefully you'll be able to use some of this information as historical events, and go back and research the information, and you can use this as evidence as if you was in here. I mean, as we was here already. So with that being said, man, like I said, stay sucker free, y'all. You know, one thing I don't do is this, right? I ain't gonna give motherfuckers more than 20 minutes of my time. Okay. I mean, I can't afford to be going in long on motherfuckers, man. I could be teaching my daughter something, or I could actually be learning something to better myself, man. So I hope you guys, I hope the main goal of this is for historical purposes. I didn't get into this shit for no niggerism. I didn't get into it to be around the same niggas who I don't fuck with to this day. So when I see these individuals, I just stay far as away from them and keep these niggas away from me too. And, you know, a lot of you motherfuckers who fuck with that bitch ass nigga Aborigine Mac, if you fuck with him, and if you in the chat room or if you watch this video later on, stay away from me if you fuck with niggas like that. Because me personally, I speak facts. I only gonna speak facts about an individual. I'm never gonna slander, and I might call a motherfucker out their name if shit get too heated. But for the most part, I address the issues I got with people. I don't come make slander, make videos. Some motherfuckers don't have no information, so all they can sit there and keep talking about is other people. Okay, there's plenty of information you could be dealing with. Plenty of shit you could be dealing with, as opposed to talking about a motherfucker every time or keep putting a nigga name in your mouth. Keep my motherfucking name in your mouth. I don't care. Because ain't nothing you can say about me is worse than what I heard about some of these motherfuckers who over there. So at the end of the day, let's get with this shit, y'all. Peace to everybody, man. So where was we at? What I want to do? I bet. All right. So you see the title of the video. We dealing with. First, we're going to deal with William Ellison. But before I get into William Ellison, I want to just read y'all something. And I want this to stick in your mind. So when you niggas think that, motherfuckers didn't own slaves or people didn't have. And let me see something else, too. Let me see something real quick. see something. All right, let me get into this. Just want to show you guys something real quick. I think it's this one. All right, let me see something. Let me see if it's this one. Because I was going to have it up there, but I ain't. This wasn't the main point of what we was talking about. All right, let me just see if this is what I was looking for. All right, here we go right here. Boom. Let's get with this. Let me open up a little bit for you guys. Throw some points out there to you guys, and hopefully you guys will get a good, proper understanding to this shit. Shout out to all the haters out there too, man. Keep hating, man, because he's gonna keep making more and more videos. You're gonna keep getting 200 views and 300 views, and the views does matter because if I'm such an illiterate, non-reading motherfucker, nobody should want to be over here with me. You know what I'm saying? And you're supposed to be with the people who talk proper kings and queens English, and they should be having the top views out of all of us. But we'll see. Content does speak, so you know how that shit go. All right, so here we talking about the Freeman's Bank right here, right? All right, so this is going to kind of go into what we're talking about. All right, so it's saying the bank was created specifically as a repository for African American veterans. It's say ex-slaves, okay? It's saying and their families. However, it also enabled other community organizations to build their financial strength, including several hospitals, schools, and institutions like the St. Elizabeth Home for Colored Children and Francis Xavier Church Orphan Aid Society. While there is little documentation on the early presidents of the Freeman banks, because we know why, right? They're saying saving banks, and the last bank president was the vulnerable Frederick Douglass. He is also quoted as saying, "The whole thing was beautiful. I had read of this bank when I lived in Rochester and had indeed been solicited to become one of its trustees and reluctantly consented to do so. But when I came to Washington and saw the magnificent brownstone front, its towering height, its perfect appointments, and the fine display, it made no, it made in the transaction of its business. I felt like Queen of Sheba when she saw the riches of Solomon." All right, so let me go down. So I want to get to the point where we're talking about just to show you guys something, right? All right, so right here, look, it says, hold up. Matter of fact, let's go up. I want to see something real quick. All right, you see right here, it's saying at the end of the Civil War, there was approximately 4 million ex-slaves across the southern states and the District of Columbia. It's saying Congress passed a bill in 1865 that established the Freedmen's Bureau. Now, it's saying 1865, right? Which we know this is bullshit, right? But nonetheless, let's continue, right? So in 1865 is when this bank was established, right? Let's read some, right? So 1865. So here it go. It said the bank finally closed its doors in June of 1874. So the bank lasted for 9 years, roughly, right? Remarkably, during the Freeman Saving Bank existed, it had over 57 million in deposits and over 70,000 depositors. Okay, so you see this right here? Let me highlight it for you guys. Let me highlight this shit. You see this? Can you guys see this? $57 million in deposits and over 70,000 depositors. So over 70,000 people invested in the bank and deposit a total of over $57 million according to what they're saying. Okay. So what slaves after 1865 in 9 motherfucking years can come up with this type of money? Now, let's break down. So let's do some math to this, okay?
Let's divide this real quick. All right, so 70,000. No, I'm sorry. 54 million divided by 70,000. Oh, hold up. I'm sorry. Let me get this right. I'm sorry. Hold up. Let me get this shit together. So this would have been equivalent to each member. Let me make sure this is right. Hold up. Hold up, man. Let me get this together. So that's over damn near almost 80,000, $800,000 per depositors. Okay, so I don't know in what dreamland or what fantasy we think of that after slavery, according to what we was told, that so-called blacks or freedmen's had the amount of $57 million and a total of over 70,000 depositors. Okay, so let that and think about how you're told history and what's going on. All right, so let's go into a little bit of this. All right, so these are just some of the black slave owners before I get to William Ellison. Um, just run through, just read a little bit of the highlighted part of it. All right, so I guess this is how you pronounce this guy's name. His name is Dilcy Pope. All right, so Pope was born a free woman, and when she was older, she bought the man she loved in order to marry him. Many state laws at the time would not allow slaves to be emancipated, so it was common for a family or spouse to technically own their family. Okay, since she owned her own house and land, and she also hired her husband as labor. Okay, all right. This is Jacob Gaskin. Okay. Gaskin was born free. Okay. Only because his mother was free. So, like, remember how we're told how slavery went. Okay. Slavery, they brought your ass over here. You worked in a plantation, and that was the end of the story. Okay. There was no happy endings to where people got free and was able to own slaves, right? According to what we're told, right? His father was still a slave, according to them. Remember, a lot of this information, you have to be able to use the common sense and use some of the history that we already got that debunks the history that we're being told. All right. It's saying this was rather common at the time. The mother eventually wanted to buy Jacob's father so that he would no longer have to work on a slave or plantation. When Jacob grew older, his mother helped him to buy his father. The family was happy with this arrangement, although the father was technically still a slave until he attempted to do what all parents do, reprimand his son. This is when this story becomes noticeable. All right. So just to give you some um information on it, we got Nat Butler right here. Okay. So I want to go down. So I want to go to this. Justin and Angel and Mistress L. Harvey, right? So, all right. So, Justin and Mistress were wealthy black masters who each owned 84 slaves, or a total of 168 together. They were located in Collecton District, now Charleston County, in South Carolina in 1830. Because most slave owners only had a handful of slaves, Angel and Harvey was considered economically elite and were called slave magnates. Okay? What motherfuckers you know owned 84 slaves, man? Okay? This is, and look at the date. Look at the fucking date. Okay? This is in 1830. Okay, this is around the same time when they were sending us, when they was trying to send some people on the Trail of Tears, according to what they're telling us. Okay, okay, so let's continue. Let's keep it moving. All right. So this widow C. Richards and son P.C. Richards. And if you see, I did another build on this, right? When we was talking about, that's where the name P.C. Richards came from. I don't know. There used to be a convenience store called P.C. Richards back in the day that used to sell electronics and, just regular electronics and how do you say appliances and things of that nature, right? So all right, so in 1860, slave owner, it's saying white or black owned around 1 to 5 slaves on average. It's saying about 28% of free black population of New Orleans at the time owned slaves, with at least 6 owning 65 or more. Okay, let that marinate. C. Richards and her son PC goes above and beyond these other 6 slave owners. It's saying by owning over twice as many. The widow and her son operated a large sugar plantation together and owned more slaves than all other black slave owners in Louisiana in 1860. It's saying topping off at 152. All right. So this is Pandarvis family, okay? Now look at the date of this right here, right? During 1730, the Pandarvis family was one of the most prominent in the South, owning the biggest rice plantation in Palmetto regions and over 123 slaves. They dominated collecting county. It's saying now in Charleston, right? It's saying became one of the wealthiest slaveholding families in South Carolina. All right. Okay. So we just gonna keep on moving, go through some more. All right. So this is Mary. I don't know how the fuck. Mary Tet. Hold up. I'm sorry. Let me get this. Marie. I can't pronounce that shit. That shit is crazy. Mettoyer. I can pronounce the last name. Her name is Maria Mettoyer. Okay. Now here they go. Here go the bullshit. They saying something about Congo, but let's go on. It's saying under Marie leadership, the Mettoyer family prospered and the plantation grew. Eventually, they owned more slaves than any other family in their country. In their county, with the numbers being represented. With the numbers being reported at 287 by 1830. Okay, so you tell me what the fuck is going on. Okay, you tell me what's going on. All right, you tell me what's going on, because like I said, if you take this into consideration, right, how you had blacks in the South in the 1900s that owned stores and owned shit, and they was getting chased out off their land in the 1900s. So if they was already doing this before, why would they even allow somebody to own this many slaves? Because they're lying about the fucking history, man. And we're going to show and prove on that today. All right. Let's keep it moving. All right. This is Antoine DeBucklet. I guess that's how you pronounce his name. All right. So Antoine was born a free man to free parents. Okay. How the fuck is his parents free if they was born here from Africa? Tell me, how was his parents free if they was brought here from Africa, right? Okay. I said, and inherited a large sugar plantation called Cedar Grove from his father. Under his father, the plantation was small and contained only a few slaves. Under Antoine's leadership, it grew. And by 1860, he owned over 100 slaves and had one of the largest sugar plantation in Louisiana. He was extremely wealthy, even more so than any of his white neighbors. Okay, now let that marinate. Of any of his white neighbors, right? Now check this shit out. Any of his white neighbors, right? Let me see something. Let me see if this is what I was looking. I'm going to go back to that, though. I want to go right here. Let me see something. All right, so we can start from here. All right, so this is talking about the KKK. Now, you know who the Ku Klux Klan is, right? So just to give you a brief history about some of the stuff that they was doing, right? They're saying most prominent in countries where the race was relatively equal in numbers. The KKK engaged in terrorist raids against African Americans and white Republicans at night, employing intimidation, destruction of property, assault, murder, and assault and murder to achieve its aim and influence upcoming elections. In few southern states, Republican organized militia units to break up the Klan. In 1871, the Ku Klux Klan Act passed Congress, authorizing President Grant Ulysses S. Grant to use the military force to suppress the KKK. The Ku Klux Klan resulted in 9 South Carolina counties being placed under martial law and thousands of arrested. In 1882, the U.S. Supreme Court declared the Ku Klux Klan unconstitutional, but you already know. But that's just to give you an understanding, right? If these motherfuckers was doing this in 1870, you have to start asking yourself, wait a minute, this shit had to be formed after the Civil War, because it's nowhere in the world that right here. It's nowhere in the world that this man right here is saying he was extremely. Let me highlight it for you guys, just in case you guys, you know how that shit go. But let me see. Let me highlight it right here. He was extremely wealthy, even more than any of his white neighbors. His plantation was worth $264,000, while the average income of his neighbors in the South was only around $3,978. All right. So now you let that shit marinate. Okay. Now this is William Ellison right here. You see how this brother dressed? Look. And I'm going to show y'all something too. I'm going to show y'all some of the uniforms that they had at the Civil War. And they're not the fucking uniforms that they show us. Trust and believe that. All right? William Ellison, okay? In 1862, William Ellison was one of the largest slave owners in South Carolina. Where did they say the Ku Klux Klan was from? Or they was terrorizing? They were terrorizing 9 counties in South Carolina, right? So how was this man the largest slave owner? Who was protecting him? Unless they wasn't doing this until after the Civil War, okay? Meaning that when I'm about to show and prove and show you that the Civil War was basically the free white slaves, okay? Not white indentured servants like some people may say, but slaves, okay? The word slave is applied to them. It's not applied to us. Okay? So let's continue. All right? So as one of the wealthiest, he was born. Now, here we go with the bullshit. So he was born a slave. He got free, and he was able to own more money than white people. Fuck out of here. That's just they're gonna always say that any of these people had any prominence or any type of money or any wealth. They always started off as a slave, and then they eventually got free, and then after they got free, but hold up, you told us that it was constant oppression until after the Emancipation Proclamation. One would think that this shit shouldn't exist pre-Emancipation Proclamation according to what they teach us, right? Let's continue. He was born a slave and was given the name April after the month. And they do tell you that some of the so-called POWs was called April, right? It's saying in which he was born. He was luckier than most and was bought by a white slave named William Ellison, which we already know this is bullshit, okay? You got to when you read through this shit, you got to be you have to have some information on this, because you'll find yourself regurgitating the same shit that they telling us. Me, myself, I know that most of the people in the South wasn't slaves. Even though that they tell you, the South ain't had nothing but slaves, is a goddamn lie. Your goddamn lie. After they was warring with you, they was trying to take over a lot of these places. They didn't have no success until after the Civil War. Meaning they had to make a caste system, or they had to free a lot of their so-called white brethren who was the original slaves, not indentured servants. Okay, they wasn't indentured servants, so I don't know. That's a nice word, because if the white people wasn't indentured servants, then I guess so. We the slaves then, huh? If the white people wasn't indentured servants, then I guess we were slaves, right? Let's continue. He was a luckiest. He was bought by a white slave owner named William Ellison, who took time to educate him. When he was 26 years old, he was freed by his master, right? According to them, which I'm not jacking none of this shit, yo. I'm assuming because the other ones was free. We just read through stories about other so-called slave owners who was born free. You understand? So if one slave owner, which was black, was free, then I'm assuming that all these motherfuckers was free. Okay? Because you gotta use your common sense when you reading through this, because they done did a fuckery with the history to the point to where you'll be reading something and you'll be regurgitating along to how they are writing this stuff, okay? As a free man, he had his name changed to William Ellison. How convenient, right? It's saying that of his former owner. So now when they tell you shit like that, when you look them up, you're gonna be thinking, oh, you don't know which William Ellison it was. Was it was him or his former owner? It's fucking bullshit, right? It's saying what makes Ellis so despicable and earned him the number 2 spot on the list is how he collected his wealth. Ellison was known to have made a large portion of his money as a slave breeder. Excuse me, y'all. Let me get some water. As a slave breeder, right? Slave breeder. Now, you telling me a black man was a slave breeder? Oh, they was breeding us. Did you know a black man was the person doing that? And just because he's saying that he was a slave breeder and he was breeding slaves, do you know if they was white slaves or they was black slaves? But under the assumption and under the fuckery, we'll think that these slaves automatically, when you talk about the term slave, automatically it means black people, right? All right, where was I at? I'm sorry. All right. So breeding slaves was illegal in many southern states, but Ellison secretly sold almost all female born and saying keeping a selected few for future breeding. He kept many of the young males as they were considered youthful on his plantation. Ellison was known to be a harsh master, and his slaves were almost starved and extremely poor clothed. He kept a windowless building on his property for specific purpose of chaining his misbehaving slaves. Okay. All right, now we talk about Anthony Johnson. We all know who Anthony Johnson is. They're gonna say he was one of the 19 people who was brought over here, but this is bullshit too, okay? In 1635. So they brought him over here in 1619, and then fucking 16 years later he was free, right? That ain't what roots tell us. That ain't what the original history tell us neither. But see, when you bring this up, then they go, oh, but no, but you know, this was no, because like I said, we already know that they're fucking with us with this history, no matter how you look at it. Okay. So in 1635, Johnson was freed. How? I thought that slaves were slaves from the time they was brought here until the time they died, according to the story that y'all tell us. So you telling me as far as in 1635, 16 years after the so-called first slaves was brought here, this man was free and he was allowed to own. He was freed and given. So listen, so he wasn't just freed, but he also was given 250 acres, acre plantation, where he was the master of both blacks and now they're gonna say white servants. Okay. Y'all know the story. We don't even need to go into the rest of that, right? Let's go to the next article, right? And you know what? Let me see something real quick, too. Let me see if I can move this shit down. Oh, shit, let me see something. What is this? Okay, all right. I don't like this. I had to use Firefox, right? Because Firefox is basically, you know what I'm saying? They wouldn't let me open the shit in Google Chrome. All right, so just to let you remember, I'm just gonna pull the term slave up, and we're gonna get into this in a minute. I'm just gonna put this right here, and we're gonna go into this other article, right? So this is another article right here. I just want to see. Let me see something. All right, they go more about William Ellison. Let me see something. Yeah, all right, they pretty much talking about the same ones we was just talking about. Yeah, all right, they talking about the same ones in this one. I just wanted to see if it was consistent with what we just read. All right, and this is a picture, I guess, of Mary. What I said her last name was? Let me see, Toyer. Okay, that's a picture of her. All right, we talked about him. All right, so let's get into some of this shit I got with William Ellison. Let me see, which one do I want to go into first? All right, shit, I got so much shit pulled up. Which one I'm gonna go on first? Let me see which one this is. All right, we kind of touched on that right there, but we want to read through a little bit of this. Let me see something. Let me see, because that shit right there is a little bit too much for me to be going through right now. Excuse me. All right, this is the one I was looking at right here. Well, nah, you know what? Let's go to this one. No, that's not it either. I think it's this one. Yeah, okay, it's this one. All right, give me a second, y'all. I gotta. So this is an image of him. So I got another image of him right here as well. So this is an image of what they say William Ellison looked like. Okay. So let's go back to this. Let's glance through a little bit of this. All right. So, all right, we just gonna go through a little bit more of what we just read. All right, so William Ellison Jr. Now they calling him a junior, right? They calling him a junior, but they saying that his slave owner was a white man, right? So how the fuck did he become a junior? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you gotta these questions gotta be asked. We can make the assumption that he might have just been called a junior because he applied that name to him, but one gotta start asking the proper questions, and you're gonna get the proper answers, right? Hold up. You know what? Let me see something. All right. All right. So William Ellison Jr., born April Ellison. It's saying April 1790. 1790. December 5th to 1861. He was a cotton gin maker and a blacksmith in South Carolina, a free Negro and former slave who achieved considerably some success in business before the American Civil War. He eventually became a major planter and one of the medium proper property owners and the wealthiest black property owner in the state. Okay, in the state. Now, if he was the wealthiest black owner, he had to be the wealthiest owner, period, right? It's saying he held 40 slaves It's saying at his death. Now they saying it was more, but some articles we're gonna get a little bit less, right? They saying I've read that he owned over 100 and over 100 something in the other article. All right. But this one they saying he held 40 slaves. They're gonna try to minimize the number, right? It's saying and more than 1,000 acres, nigga. 1,000 acres. You know how fucking much land 1,000 acres is? Do you know how much land 1,000 acres is, y'all? All right. Now they saying from now they keep giving us these numbers. 1830. We keep seeing that a lot of these people, they keep saying that these people owned slaves back in 1830, right? 1865. He and his sons were the only free blacks in Sumter County, South Carolina, to own slaves. Now, how was that possible? What stopped white people from going in there, grabbing his ass up and saying, well, we doing it to the rest of the Negroes, so we might as well we might as well just fucking put you back into slavery, right? Remember the movie 12 Years of Slavery, how they grabbed my man who was supposed to be some rich free black man, and they fucking grabbed him up and what they call Shanghaied his ass and put him into so-called slavery according to the story we told? What stopped them from doing this to the 10 people I just read about? Oh, we got more. I got more. I got more than just them 10 right there. So trust and believe. And just in case if you motherfuckers think that I'll be jacking niggas for information, right? Let me show you how far I've been dealing with this shit right here. All right? Show you how long I've been doing. You see A1, that's me, right? So see this video? The real slaves are Slavs, not African Americans. You see the year of the video when I did it? I did it 3 years ago, okay? So I was talking about this. Hold up. I was doing this shit 3 years ago. Look at the date on it. I uploaded it December 24th, 2016. So don't think that, oh shit, A1 be watching other people's videos and making videos because he see, nah, nigga, I've been talking about this shit. I've been talking about it. But for some reason, other motherfuckers like to go back and remake shit that they see other people make. Or maybe they just think that they do a better job than what some other people do. So, I'm just gonna redo his video or whatever, because I think I do a better job than and you niggas know who the fuck I'm talking about. Because like I said, man, I get a lot of information from people, and I'm the first motherfucker who always give people credit. We don't own none of this information, but I'll be goddamn if you too good to at least say, well, damn, you know what? I got some of this information from this brother, or I learned some things from him, as opposed to some of these motherfuckers just want to be the guru and think that they know everything, and then motherfuckers be coming to me, referring me to other people. And I'm like, yo, I've been talking about that shit. What are you talking about? Oh, you don't know? Okay. Let's get into it. So where was we at? We was right here. All right. So this nigga owned 1,000 acres back in 1830 through 1865. They got that number again. 1865. They just said the Freedman banks were started in 1865, right? Unless they lying. Unless the banks probably been there. Okay? You understand? So, all right, so 1865, he and his sons. All right, well, we went over that right there. Let's go down. Now, look, of course, they're going to show you black people. And these are probably motherfuckers from really Africa right here that they're showing you. That's over in another country. These ain't no black Americans right here that they showing you. These are motherfuckers that's over in Africa or over, yeah, I'm going to say Africa for the most part. But they showing you this, and you would think that, oh, shit, these are African Americans. Okay? So let me see, because that one is kind of giving us a... All right, so I'll just give you a little bit. We kind of touched on most of the shit dealing with him, but let me see something. All right, let me go back into some more of his history. Give me a second. Excuse me. All right, we're gonna read from right here. All right, so it said by the time William was in his late 20s, he was in business for himself. How many slaves you know was in business for themselves? How many slaves you know could free themselves? And what stopped? What he had an army? So did this motherfucker have an army? Did he have an army? What stopped the good old boys from running up in his motherfucking? What stopped the good old boys from running up in this nigga house and lynching him and taking all his property? What stopped them from doing that? Unless they didn't have control like that until after the Civil War. Because we're painting a picture that up until 1960 or 65, and we know the shit's still going to this day, but up until 1965 or whatever, when the civil rights movement was passed or whatever, that we was in slavery or we was in bondage or we still been oppressed now to a certain extent. But like I said, all the way up until 1965 when they passed the Civil Rights Act, right? We think that from 1619 all the way up until 1965, right? You see black people in the fucking 1940s and 1950s being ran out their community and people taking land from them, right? They was doing this in the 1900s. So why wasn't they doing it back in the 1800s? Interesting question, right? All right, let's continue. All right. So he was in business for himself. Interesting. As the master gin builder, right? It's saying and repairer. Ellison became a successful businessman and a machine and mechanic. A bill to Judge Whitey, Whitey, dated October 6, 1817, exemplified that Ellison was truly skilled at his work. Ellison completely dissembled, rebuilt, and reassembled Whitey's cotton gin. Okay? Now, how did he do that if he never seen it unless he put the shit together? Right? Because we keep saying all these gifted so-called Negroes who was making all this machinery and shit, but we think that they was making it for these people. When we might have already had these machines and everything, and these people came after they went through their terrorizing us, took the shit from us, right? Excuse me. Probably took them 12 days to complete this job. All right. By 1819, William had bought 2 male slaves to work in his shop. Did he buy them or was he fucking employing these people? Okay. Or was they white people? And we got to keep asking that question, right? In 1820, April legally changed his name to William Ellison Jr. So you mean a motherfucker who was born to someone else took on a name from a so-called European and put a junior at the end of it? The name of his former owner, right? Johnson and Rourke, 1984, 13 and through 16. As a result of the high price and increased production of cotton. By 1840, William had 12 slaves working in his shop, right? So he had 12 slaves working in his shop, right? On December 13, 1840, Ellison placed an advertisement in the Sumter Banner, a newspaper advertising his business of making and repairing gins. Okay? So let's read some more of this. According to the 1850 U.S. Census slave schedule, Somerton County, South Carolina, William Ellison was listed as a black man with 37 slaves, right? So in 1850 he had 37 slaves, but the last article said in 1865 or 1860 he had 40 slaves, right? So 10 years prior to that he had 37 slaves at this point in time, right? 27 males and 10 females. In a letter to his son Henry, dated March 26, 1857, Ellison wrote, giving him instructions on managing several of his gin shops and customer accounts. Now, this sound like some advanced shit, man. How the fuck a nigga who can't read, well, even though that they said his so-called master educated him, right? But you gotta question this shit, man. This shit just doesn't sit well with me according to the history of how we've been told. And I've done videos on William Ellison prior to that, but I'm just gonna give you a complete overview of this whole so-called slavery thing, right? I might be missing some things out that maybe later on I have to do another bill maybe 2 or 3 years from now. But for the most point, I'm gonna try to cover as much ground as I can, okay? So it's saying one can conclude that the business was going so well that William's son help was needed. So he needed, come on, man, to keep up with the accounts, okay? It's in 1860, William owned not only the gin shop, but a large cotton plantation with more than 60 slaves. See how they fucking with the numbers? So this nigga probably owned, we don't know how many slaves he owned. Because they're going to keep on making it seem like, oh, he just was a small slave owner. Yeah, I mean, first black people were slaves. Now they got free and now they owning slaves. And now you want to keep fucking with the numbers and saying, oh, well, yeah, there was. So how did some blacks own slaves? So please tell me that. Because I'm familiar with roots. I'm familiar with your history. I'm familiar with all that. How did this black man get free and was able to purchase and own slaves? What stopped these militias or the Europeans from taking his shit? Tell me. Oh, he was paying them off? Yeah, all right. Okay. Then if that's the case, then all of the blacks that own businesses could have been doing the same, and they would have been allowed to keep their wealth. But we know that's not fucking true, right? Because like I just showed you in fucking, remember this. The bank finally closed its doors in June 1874. Remarkably, during the Freedman Savings Bank existence, it had over $57 million and 70,000 depositors. Okay? Okay, let that marinate in your fucking brain. Let me see something. Where was we at? I think I was right here. All right, I was right here. All right. All right, so right here it's telling us, even on the last article I read, it said 40. So that's why I like to cross-reference different articles, because some people be leaving shit out. Okay? But as you've seen, we just went and we just seen that there was a slave owner. Let's go back up. And he's number 2. I don't know how he became number 2, because this nigga right here, DeBucklet, he owned 100 slaves. This nigga owned 100 fucking slaves, right? And said he had one of the largest sugar plantations in Louisiana. Get the fuck out of here. So he had one of the, so he was in competition with white people, according to the racist history that we're taught. Fuck out of here, man. You gotta be a goddamn fool to believe this shit. Okay? Now look. Now Mary, right? They said she owned 287 slaves. Okay? Look, here go right here. Look. They own more slaves than any other family in their county. Let that marinate. Let that marinate right there, right? So, this female, Matt Toyer, or whatever, family owned more slaves than anybody in their county. Now, what it says right here. Check this out. It says, with the number being reported at 287 by when? Hold up. Let me highlight that again, man. Let's deal with this shit. When? In 1830. We keep saying 1830 and 1865, right? We keep saying these dates, right? In 1830, you assume that, wait a minute, if all the other blacks were slaves, and then they had a system here to where they was oppressing blacks, then why wasn't these 10 people on this list? But wait a minute. If you go back to my videos, you'll see that I got a bill talking about the black slave owners of the South, and we go through them, and it's hundreds and thousands of them. Oh, we're gonna go into that too. Oh, we're gonna go into all that. We're gonna deal with all this shit today. Okay? Tell me how the fuck somebody in 1830 on 200 a so-called Negro on 287 slaves. Crickets, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Interesting, right? Very fucking interesting. Let me see, where was we at? All right, we was right here. Very fucking interesting, right? All right. When the war broke out in 1861, William became very devout supporter of the Confederacy. Okay, now remember, if the fucking Indian nation was called the Confederacy, then why we can't still think that their name was called the Confederacy all up into that time right there, right? Why do we think the Confederacy was something dealing with white people when we could find an Iroquois Confederacy? You think that's just a coincidence that the Iroquois took on the term Confederacy as well? And then there was a fucking Confederacy in the South as well. You think that's ironic? Man, oh man, oh man. You can't make this shit up, y'all. William turned his plantation over from being a cotton cash crop to farming foodstuff for the Confederacy. When his grandson joined the Confederacy artillery, artillery unit after Ellison's death on December 5th, 1865. Per his wishes, the family actively support the Confederacy throughout the war. The Ellison family produced foodstuff for the Confederate Army. Contributed large amounts of money, paid 5,000 in taxes, and invested a good portion of their fortune into Confederate bonds. Okay, worthless at the end of the war. Ellison Center in 2008. You don't need to go into that. Yeah. We don't need to go into that. All right. Here's some primary sources for you guys. Okay. All right. I gave you enough so you can do some research of your own. All right. So let's see something. Let's go into here. Right. Let me see something. All right, boom. Let's go here. Let's go to the forgotten cause of Civil War. Never load up. Let's give it some time to load up. All right, so let's go to the top just so you guys can see what we're working with. Okay. Shit freezing up now. What the hell going on? All right, let me reload it. All right, just give it some second. Give it some time to load up. Let me refresh it anyway. Interesting. This shit, I'll never do this on Microsoft Edge. All right, hold up. Let me see something real quick. All right, so let me see what's going on with this shit. All right, there you go. Bring the history to y'all, man. Try to make this shit very factual, you know what I'm saying? But trying to, like my brother nonetheless like to say, this is a fucking crime scene, right? I don't know what the fuck is going on with this shit today. Let me see something. Nah, I gotta go back and look for, hold up. I don't know why the fuck is this shit not fucking. Let me see if I click on this. Alright, then I should be able to click on this then. Alright, here you go. Alright, so just so you'll know, Forgotten Cause of Civil War, a new look at the slavery issue, right? Let me see if my part is still highlighted. Alright. See right here, white slaves, new white slaves. Alright, come on, y'all. Shit. Okay, shit is not responding. Alright, there you go. Alright, you know what? Let me go into my shit real quick. Alright, it's right here. Because I had it highlighted prior to the shit going on. Here it go right here. Now, in the Two Some video, I read this before, so just to let you guys know. Alright? It's saying right here at this point right here, this is the prefix of it. Alright? These individuals look white and had no this. He giving basically what he doing is telling you that most people think that because of the complexions of some of these people, that some of them was mulattoes, and that would be the reason that they were slaves, right? So he's giving a kind of understanding to saying that that's false, right? So it's saying these individuals look white and had no visible African ancestry whatsoever. Many people have heard of the one drop rule, where it be the most I can't pronounce that. Infestimal something amount of black blood makes one black. What is often overlooked, however, in the fact that the reality, this is a social classification. A white person and a white person who has a distinctive black ancestor, no discernible black traits, look the same and are both psychologically white human beings. It was common thinking in the North to hold that slaves who looked like white people were white people and not mulattoes nor black people. As will be seen, the political ramifications of white slavery were the ultimate cause of the Civil War. You want me to read it to you motherfuckers again? Let's read it again. A white person and a person who has this distinct black ancestors, but no discernible black traits, look the same and both psychologically white human beings. It was common thinking in the North to hold that slaves who look white like white people were white people and not mulattoes nor blacks. As it will be seen, the political ramifications of white slavery was the ultimate cause of the Civil War. Motherfuckers, okay? motherfuckers. But wait, we got more here. We got more. You guys know I done did a build on this right here, probably about the same time. I mean, I'm gonna say probably about like maybe about 3 years ago. We did a build on this, man. Let me see something. All right. I guess I got so much shit open. This shit is taking forever. All right, there you go. I think so. All right, there you go, right there. All right. So this is Carter G. Woodson book. All right. And let me see something real quick. All right, here we go, right here. All right, just in case you niggas think I be fucking playing games, man. All right, hold up. Come on, Paige. What the fuck is you doing? Nah, it's down. Hold up. Carter G. Woodson got some good reading material, y'all. I suggest you go get it. The Miseducation of Negro, the Journals of the Negroes. All right, so you see free Negro owners of slaves in the United States, and they got that date again, 1830. Okay, in 1830. All right. Carter G. Woodson, editor of the Journal of Negro History, right? Now, we done been through this already, right? Let's see. It's a good book. Has a lot of good information in it. So let's go down. And as they was as like if you read, go back and watch the video I did because I ain't got time to read through all the introductions of this shit. But if you go back right here, it will say that, in some cases that people think that they was buying their own family members, right? But like I said, I'm under the impression that, well, if the family member was free, then why the family wasn't? I know the stories that they tell us, but I'm not buying into none of this shit at this point in time. Okay? I'm not buying into none of this shit at this point in time. It talks about wives and all that other shit. Let me see. Let's say benevolent Negroes often purchase slaves to make their lots easier by granting them their freedom. It's saying for a normal sum. It's saying a normal sum. Sorry about that, y'all. It's saying or by permitting them to work it out on liberal terms. Okay, this is what they're saying. We know this shit is misleading because they attach that word slave onto us, and then every time you see that fucking word, you think they talking about us, man. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna deal with that too. You know what I'm saying? All right. So look, starting with Alabama, right? So look, take a look at this shit, y'all. We're gonna go through. I'm gonna try to go through as many as I can, but like I said, I done been through this book already, man. Go check. I got 2 videos on it already. All right. So this is Alabama. This is how this shit is ran. Names, ages, right? You see right here. Let's open it all the way up. All right. It's for you hated motherfuckers who make these 5-minute videos. The only thing you can do is talk about another man, you bitch ass nigga. All right. So Alabama, right? So name. Here go the slaves. You see in this column right here? This is slaves. This is the total slaves. This is the age of the slaves, okay? This is Clark's County, right? These are the names of the slave owners that was in Clark's County. James Megg, P.T. Harris, William Hatchett, Joseph Stapleton, David Monarch, right? This man right here, James, owned 1 slave. Total 2, meaning him plus the slave, right? Now that's their two ages. One of them probably was 36, another one was 55, right? P.T. Harris owned 24 slaves, right? And you see right here, say total 25, including himself. The ages of his slaves was from 55 to 100 years old. Let me say that again. From 55 to 100 years old. Okay? William Hatchard, he owned two slaves. With him, it was a total of three people in the crib, right? 30 ages 36 to 55. Joseph Stapleton owned one slave, or a total of two with himself, 36 to 55. David Monarch owned 27. With himself, it would be 28. Ages of the slaves is from 55 to 100, okay? Tom Smith owned four, and the total in his household was 14. So I would assume the other 10 would have been his family members, according to him. And the ages range from 36 to 55. Lawrence, hold up, let's go back up. Lawrence County, Louis Royal, he owned one slave, and it was a total of three in the household, and the ages from 55 to 100. Madison County, um, Betsy Davis, she owned one slave, and it was a total of seven people, and six of them probably was her family members, and their ages is ranged from 36 to 55. James F. Stewart owned two slaves, with himself including, which make three people in the household, and their ages from 36 to 55. All right, listen, I'm not going through this whole thing again, but I mean, go check out the build I did probably about 3-4 years ago on this or whatever. But it tells you we can sit here and count these motherfuckers, and you tell me how many people you see. Now this is in Alabama, okay? Look, the city of Mobile. Now racist they say Mobile, Alabama was, right? Now look at all the motherfuckers that own slaves in that county, all right? Now, we just read it was 10. They talking about, oh, the main 10 slave owners, but in this book, there's hundreds, if not thousands. Matter of fact, you know what? Shit, there's probably 100 of them on this fucking one page. If we was to count them, let's do a count. Let's do a head count. Why not? Right? We ain't doing nothing, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, right? On one page. And we ain't even, well, we almost done. 48. I think I'll stop right around here. I'm going to just stop right here. 49, 50, 51, 52. So on this one page, is 52 fucking slave owners, all right? Now you see Arkansas Territory. Got one person, his name was Bob Free. He owned three slaves, ranges of age ranging from 36 to 55. In Connecticut, right? Amos Demostat, okay? He owned one slave, and he had five other family members, which make a total of six people in the family, including one slave, and the ages range anywhere from 55 to 100. Now, you tell me this, right? Right now, motherfuckers can't live to be. It ain't that many people live to be over 90, man. I think the mortality rate amongst women and amongst men. I think women has a lower mortality rate than men. I think, I'm not. Don't quote me on that, but I think the average age for women is around 65 to 67. The average age for men is from 70 to 75 or something like that. And it might be vice versa. It might be the women that outlive the men. So if I'm saying it wrong and somebody know the actual numbers, then you can definitely pull me up on it. All right. But look, man, Delaware, I ain't got to count them. All right. We just take a look at it. District of Columbia, right? District of motherfucking Columbia, right? Look at all these slave owners. All of these are slave owners. Okay, all of these names are people who own slaves. Whether it's 3, 1, 6, 4, 4, 4, 9, 5, 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 1, whatever. They still own fucking slaves, right? And you keep seeing this number from ranges 55 to 100. 55 to 100, right? 55 to 100, 55 to 100, 55 to 100, 55 to 100, man. Look, 55 to 100, 55 to 100, 55 to 100, 55, 55, 55 to 100. Okay? 55 to 100 again, 55 to 100 again. All right? Now you tell me what the fuck is going on. And there's still more people in the District of Columbia, blacks that own slaves, right? In Florida, look. Georgia, look. And like I said, you probably can find some of your family names on this shit. Went through the names last time. I ain't got time to go through them like that today. Georgia continue, right? Chicago, Illinois, rather. Kentucky, right? Now you tell me what the fuck is going on. Kentucky again, right? Oh, they just let them how these people get free. You tell me how these people get free and was able to live a fucking successful life and people living to be 55 to 100 years old when niggas can't live that long now. More people in Kentucky, right? Louisiana, right? I said we could find old girl name. Mettoyer. I don't see it. I see a Marito right here. Marianne. Matter of fact, her name was Marie. And look, more Louisiana, right? More Louisiana. Hold on, now, is that Louisiana? Let me see. Oh, yeah, Louisiana continue. Look. And look on this page. 55 to 100, 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 55 to 100 again, 55 to 100 again, again. Now wait a minute, let me see something because I want to see something. All right, I want to see. Now check this out right here, right? You see this person right here. This is in Bayou, right? Now, Jean B. Gollery, I guess that's how you pronounce the name. So she had a total of 18 slaves, right? Which make her household 30, 32, a total number of 32, meaning 14 of them had to be family members, right? All right. And these people age range anywhere from 55 to 100, bro. So it was 32 people total, and the total of them was 55 to 100. But check this shit out, right? Let's go right here. Let's look at this guy. Gene B. Muller. I guess that's how you pronounce his name. Mullen. All right. Um, 52. He owned 52 slaves. A total of his household was 57, meaning that it was probably five family members, like we've been saying, right? And their ages range from 55 to a motherfucking 100, man. And you tell me what the fuck is going on. All right, this guy right here, Verrett Pollen. He owned 69 slaves. B, come on, what the fuck is going on? He owned 69 slaves, okay? 69 slaves. And a total of 74 people was in his house. Their ages range from 36 to 55. Okay? Okay? Let me just see. Let's see something. All right. More in Louisiana, man. Why is all these black people own slaves in Louisiana, man? You tell me. Now look at this number right here, y'all. I think this might be off, maybe. I'm not sure. Or Rose Gorant, right? She had 2 slaves in the house, which a total of 16 people, which 14 of them was probably family members. But look at the age, 100 and up, right? 100 through. Now, like I said, some of this might not be accurate because I'm finding this kind of hard to believe that this many people. So 16 people in the house was over 100 years old. Interesting, right? Hmm. So this was on a regular then. People was living like this, man. People was living to be fucking 100 years old, man. More in Louisiana. Look at this shit. This shit just keep going. Right here, Pierre Calvin, 1 slave, 9 total people in the crib, and their ages range from 100 and over, right? Now look, man, this shit goes on and on and on. We only on page 25. We still got about another 70 something pages to go through, right? But we ain't gonna go through all of them. You guys get the picture. All right, more in Louisiana. Look at this right here. I don't know, V. Plantervine, right? Plant Ving, right? Vig or whatever, Ving, whatever. All right. So he owns 7 slaves, a total of 15 people in the household, and their ages range from 100 and above, right? We got 14 right here. Louise Gorequi, and she owned 2 slaves, 14 people in the total household. Well, no, 12 people in the total household with the 2 slaves, and their ages range from anywhere from over 100 and up. All right, so this shit just keep going and going and going, man. You want to see the in-depth video? Go back and check it out. Maybe you guys could find some of your family members on here and connect your lineage to it. All right, keep on going right here, more and more. See all these. Look how many people 55 and older on this page. Look at this shit. See the age, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think that's 10 right there. I think I ain't count that one. Look. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That shit's still going. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. And I'm only counting the numbers of how many people live to be over 55 through 100, right? You see all these people on here? There's over 25 of them. So, and you see this? Look at this name right here. His name is Toussaint Gillamy. I guess that's how you pronounce his name or whatever. But his first name was Toussaint. That's interesting, right? And remember, this is in Louisiana, and they do think a lot of people got the French or the Creole names, right? You see Jock, you see Franchetta, T. Gene, Lewis, shit. I should just keep on going, y'all. All right. But one thing for sure, right? If you ain't learned nothing, at least you learned this right here, right? Let me see something. I want to open this up this time. Let's go back here again. All right. So, all right, one more time. These individuals look white and had no visible African ancestry whatsoever. Many people have heard of the one drop rule, where B, the most infinitesimal amount of black blood makes one black, right? I say what is often overlooked. However, it is the fact that in reality, the social classification, a white person and a person who has a distant black ancestor but no discernible black traits look the same and are both psychologically white human beings. It was common thinking in the North to hold no, it was common thinking in the North to hold that slave who looked like a white person were white people and not mulattoes nor black people. As we will be seeing, the political ramifications of white slavery were the ultimate cause of the Civil War. Okay? You guys want this book? I'll send it to you. I think I gotta find a way to send it to you. Um, all right, so let me just go ahead. So let's go. What's this? All right, this is Michael Hoffman book, right? Now, let me see something real quick. He got a lot of shit in this, man. Before I get into it, I'm gonna play the video. All right, so let's play a little bit of this video. I know you probably seen it before, cause niggas be making fucking videos and shit. Don't be giving no credibility to people who they got some of the information from. And it'd be nice sometimes for a motherfucker to reference somebody, right? Instead of thinking that they the all motherfucker who know everything, right? Listen to this.
Children were born to white slaves, and they were also in
Stop.
ever were. And this white slavery was even hereditary. White children were born to white slaves, and they were also enslaved. Whites were auctioned on a block with children sold and separated from their parents. Wives were sold and separated from their husbands. Meanwhile, you had free black property owners walking the streets of northern and southern American cities, while white slaves were being worked to death in the sugar mills of Barbados and Jamaica in the West Indies and in the tobacco plantations of Virginia. So the establishment has created this misnomer of indentured servitude to explain away and minimize the fact of white slavery. But if you really read even the establishment historians, if you read their footnotes, even they have to concede, at the very least in the 17th century, that black slavery was almost non-existent and that whites were the overwhelming majority of slaves in America in the 17th century. Where does the word slave itself come from? Isn't it exclusively in reference to the experience of black people in bondage? No, it isn't, Pastor Peters. Actually, the word slave derives from the white nation of people known as the Slavs, or the Slavic people. And they were enslaved longer than the entire history of the United States. The Slavic people were slaves about twice as long as blacks were slaves in North America. So the actual
isn't it?
That's correct.
How did the enslavement of whites in America begin, anyway?
Well, the enslavement of whites in America really actually has its roots in Great Britain because it's really a very complex story. Of course, the history of whites in bondage goes all the way back to the ancient world. The ancient Greeks and the ancient Romans, of course, held slaves, and the majority of those slaves were white.
Now, hold up. Now, you heard what he said, right? So he's telling you to go back to ancient Rome. But what he's leaving out is the fact that the Romans was black people. And look at your man right here. Well, we always go over this stuff, right? Your man right here, Charles the motherfucking Fifth, right? Charles the Fifth, Holy Roman Emperor Charles the Fifth, okay? This is the same motherfucker that's up here, a.k.a. Carlos Quinto, okay? It's Carlos Quarto, and Carlos Quinto should be right up. No, let me see something. Oh, no, Carlos Quinto right here. See Carlos Quinto? This is Charles the fucking Fifth right here, okay? Okay, you see that? This is him right here, okay? Holy Roman Emperor Charles V, Carlos Quinto as the fifth Inca Emperor, okay? Okay, see? He's right here, okay? So, even the Romans was black at that point in time, okay? Go back.
This has pretty much been the essential experience of all people throughout time, and it's ludicrous to say that it's exclusively the experience of blacks. However, if we bring this up to the American colonial period, we must go to Britain because, of course, America was a colony of Britain, and Britain began its decline in the 16th century, shortly after the reign of Henry VIII. It really, I would say, it went into decline under his son, the very weak boy king, Edward VI. And in the era of Edward VI, we see that usury, or the charging of interest on loans, that had been illegal in Britain. And during the reign of Edward VI, he was being manipulated by his counselors, and that's when usury was legalized in Britain in 1548. And from that point onward, you also had the beginnings of the enclosure laws, which was the taking away of the right of the English people to farm freely in these common lands which had existed. They were basically swindled out of their land. And from that, you had a pauperization process beginning. You had the first real beginning of a class of white people in Great Britain, the paupers. And once you had that, of course, you had all the social evil that came along with the paupers. Now, pauperization began in a large-scale way under Queen Elizabeth I, and this is when you had the first welfare laws in Britain being passed. And when white people who had formerly been yeomen, who had been freemen. Now, there had been a class of white slaves in early Britain known as the villains, from which we get the disparaging term of villain. It was spelled a little bit differently with an E on the end instead of an A. However, you still had a majority of the whites able to farm and able to live as free men. Now, more and more, the majority of whites were changing over from free men and yeomen and landholders and farmers over to this class, this formal class of paupers. And that's what began the root of white slavery, because once you had paupers, you had developing the workhouse system, which was the way to manage the paupers, which was to enslave them in an institution where they could be controlled, which was the workhouse system in Great Britain.
That's an amazing story. In fact, it's so amazing that I know there are some people just using the understanding cognitive dissonance that they're rejecting some of the things you're saying because it seems so fantastic that they've never heard this. What happened to whites in Great Britain if they opposed the king or they were defeated in battle? You know, in high school today and colleges, we're told that the whites have been so-called indentured servants. That we do hear about some indentured servants in America, but never slaves. And I know you addressed it in the book, and I want you to tell the people about it.
Right. Well, first of all, of course, you had battle captives and people who were opposing the king, or if they lost in battle in the various civil wars and rebellions in Great Britain. Generally, one of their punishments, if they were fortunate enough to escape execution, was enslavement. And what would happen to them is they would be transported. Now, that was a technical term. It didn't just mean that you were put on a ship, but it was actually a term related to forced deportation from Great Britain. And these various white rebels against the crown were then transported to the British Crown colonies of the West Indies, particularly Barbados and Jamaica, where they were basically worked to death in the sugar mills there. And when white tourists go to Jamaica and Barbados, they're basically going to the scene of a white Holocaust, because most of these white men didn't survive beyond the first couple of years there. However, this enslavement was long-term. It just did not involve only political prisoners or those who had lost battles, but it also involved the kidnapping, as I will discuss later, of whites off the streets of Great Britain. So that even in the early parts of the 20th century, you had a remnant of poor whites in Barbados known as the Red Shanks, who were the survivors of white slavery there. So it was a very onerous thing to be captured in battle, and you were, in fact, subject to slavery as a result.
The Red Shanks, would that any way tie up with the word rednecks?
Absolutely, yes.
Is that right?
Yes, this is one of the racist terms which the media freely uses. We're often told that the most horrible word, I think this specter was summoned in the O.J. Simpson circus, that the most horrible word in the English language, one of his lawyers said, was the N-word. However, to conscious white people, one of the most horrible words is the word redneck. And this term of derision is bandied about in movies and television and in the newspapers totally blithely. We're just supposed to take this. We're supposed to be labeled in this way. However, if we look at the etymology of the word, the root of it is a means of poking fun at poor white people whose skin would redden in the sun in the West Indies. And they would be called hillbillies, Scotland Johnnies, by blacks and by wealthy whites who enslaved them, red shanks, and eventually this term of derision, this loathsome, contemptible term for poor white people, eventually evolved into the modern-day term of redneck. Yes.
That's fascinating. How were the slaves actually enslaved? How were the whites enslaved if they were not just indentured servants?
Well, the indentured servant thing was basically a racket. I mean, there was a minority of people who were in bondage who were fortunate enough to have been indentured servants, because after all, indentured servitude, when it is practiced correctly and legally, is a form of apprenticeship. Someone, as we were told in high school and college, would trade a period of his labor in return for passage over on a boat or in return for instruction in a skilled trade. So that is a legitimate a contract there between a laborer and an employer, and I certainly sanction it. I think it's a good thing. In fact, I'd like to see apprenticeship practice more today as more and more young people get away from the public school system and they're homeschooled by their parents, and then as they reach their teens, why it would be quite natural for them to apprentice themselves to a manager or someone who has something to teach them. However, under this euphemism of indentured servitude pacificators, a tremendous hoax and a tremendous swindle was perpetrated against the poor white people. And that is to say, it functioned in two ways. One, as a cover-up for the actual experience of white people in slavery. In other words, as this slavery grew larger and larger, and the white aristocracy in Britain scrambled for a way to cover it up, they grouped it under the notion of a contract for indenture. Secondly, it functioned as a way of entrapping people. In other words, people would be press ganged or kidnapped employment was completely ignored, and these people were referred to as indentured servants. They were even told that they had a contract of indenture, but in fact they were slaves for life. Now, the way this occurred, the real engine of this enslavement in Britain was kidnapping. And again, if we go to our study of words, we find out that the origin of the word kidnapping, which is now a universal term for anyone who steals people, relate to white slavery. If you go to the old dictionary, you'll find out that the definition, the original word was kidnapping, N-A-D-D-I-N-G, and it's a specific reference to stealing white children and white adults for servitude in colonial America. And tens of thousands of them were kidnapped from the port cities of England and Scotland. In fact, it got so bad in the late 17th century that parents were in great fear to let their children go to the port cities on an errand without their parents or some other adult guardian safeguarding them. And in fact, even if an adult was along, oftentimes that adult would be knocked on the head and put on board the ship. And in my book, They Were White and They Were Slaves, I give many accounts of this mass kidnapping in action. So that was the principal means by which whites were brought to America as slaves. A secondary means was to trick them into the idea that they were going to have a limited contract of indenture for 7 years. But then when they came to America, you see, there was a way to lengthen that 7 years and to violate the biblical injunction against servitude going beyond 7 years. The way that happened was to create a roster of petty offenses. For example, if a white slave was away from his work or away from the plantation for more than a day or even for more than an hour, if the overseer decided that this was an arbitrary absence, they would add on a month of servitude to the white slave's time of service. And through various stratagems and tricks, this adding on went to the point where the people ended up being enslaved for life. And that's the real reality of bondage of whites in America. It's white slavery and not largely indentured servitude.
It's an amazing story, and ladies and gentlemen, this amazing...
He told you the right thing. So saying that motherfucker's indentured service is nice. That's a nice way to address them, right? Well, let's get into this shit, right? Let me show you something.
Well, I think you take it bravely. Well, I have little choice. I've seen it at work before. Fortunately, no. Had you done so, I promise that you would not be prepared to die so calmly. My lord, I assure you, I am anything but calm. I shall arrange a demonstration. My lord. Yes? Please. Not one of mine. Never fear. I need them. They have work to do. show you how a Moor can die. I will show you how a Moor can die. I need them. They have work to do. I will show you how. I need them. They have work to do. 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 I need them. They have work to do.
All right. Let's get back into this shit, right? All right. So you see that right there. All right. You know what? Let me, since we on this shit, might as well go through a little bit of his book. This is Michael Hoffman book. Matter of fact, you know what? All right, here you go, right here. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me see something. All right, right here. It says in some cases, whites was whipped by the authorities just for making a complaint to the courts about their masters. In Westmoreland County, Virginia, in 1724, a white slave received 20 lashes for having complained of mistreatment. In 1783, another Westmoreland white slave, George Smith, was whipped 29 times for making a complaint. This is the book. They was white and they was slaves, okay? Constables and local magistrates in Virginia to whom mistreated white slaves might appeal were often the same men who enslaved and assaulted them. It should be recalled that the killing and maiming of white slaves was visited upon them by kinsmen of the same race and religion, right? This is what they're saying, but we just showed you that it was black people who owned slaves, right? Now remember, this is 1724. What year did they say Anthony Johnson owned slaves? And I think that was in 1635, right? So you think if a black man or so-called Aborigine or whatever the hell you want to refer to him as owned slaves in 1635, what would be the likelihood that these people were still owning slaves today at that point in time in 1724, 1738, like they got right here? Like they got right there. All right. Niggas be playing with the people with this information, man. They're not telling you the whole entire story. In 1679, colonial census of whites who fled slavery to scratch out an existence as hold up, let me see something. Is this what I wanted to go? Yeah, fuck it. It's saying to scratch out an existence as subsistence or substance and tenant farmers shows that they had to flee to the worst land where they existed in extreme poverty. It's saying forming Yamen peasants communities in the hills, which is where you get the word hillbilly from, right? It's saying it is instructive to note that the white Yeomanry who mocked and scorched by both the wealthy white planters and elite as well as the Negroes, right? It's saying rich white plantation owners joined with the Negroes in insulting. How would rich white slave owners who they tell you bought what black people here, which would be the Negroes, how did the Negroes join in insulting white slaves and poor white people, referring to them as poor white earth, scratching scum, cracker, red shank, red legs, forerunner, and rednecks? Racial insults currently nowadays, hillbillies and Scottish Johnnies. The servants was regarded by the planters as white trash. Okay? As white trash. Here go your book, Capitalism and Slavery, on page 17. Okay? Okay? Let's see something. Let me see something. I marked some more up here at the top. All right, I'm going to read this whole thing. All right. All right, boom. Check this out. All right. Colonial records are full of deaths and beatings, starvations, and exposures of white slaves, in addition to the tragic account such as one in New Jersey, white slave boy. That's fucked up. I mean, like, understand this too, right? This is for historical purposes. At this point in time, we got black devils and white devils, and just because of a person color of skin don't make them um bad people, man. Just like, as you see right here, one of the brothers who I was looking at, this guy right here. Let me see. This is dealing with the Corona joint. This brother right here, Michael Kaufman, Dr. Andrew Kaufman, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, don't understand at this point in time, I know that we got black devils and white devils. And all the white people are just, I mean, in some cases, man, they just paying us back for what we did to them, man. You understand? In some cases, man, and I know that's crazy to hear, man, but that's the truth of what I'm starting to understand, yo. So I'm not trying to justify slavery. Holding anybody in bondage is wrong. So I'm not trying to make fun, or I'm doing this for historical purposes, man. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point in time, man, you got white people, man, you know what I'm saying, that and I'm not trying to cape for nobody neither, but I'm just telling you the actual facts, man, to my observation, to what I see nowadays. When you first started, you think, it's all white people. Nah, it's your people too. It's your people too. Trust and believe that. All right. So the white boy who drowned himself rather than continue to face the unmerciful beating of his masters. Now that's fucked up, bro. A young boy killed himself as a result of the unmerciful beating of his masters, right? So Henry Smith beat to death an elderly white slave, and you see that, two white females in Virginia. John Dandy beat to death his white slave boy, whose black and blue body was found floating down a creek in Maryland. See? It's saying Pope Alvery beat his white slave girl, Alice Stanford, to death in 1663. She was reported to have been beaten to a oh my God, I can't. You know what, man? Some of this stuff is just kind of overwhelming, man. Like, I mean, even like I said, I mean, listen, man, I'm a human being, man. At the end of the day, man, and like, I'm not trying to make fun of anybody being a slave, man. But for the historical purposes, we have to go over some of this stuff, man. Because I think that a lot of these terms and a lot of the history is the stuff that keep us in the same mind state to where we at. So I think it just would be good to go through it, man, and just get through it, though. But some of the stuff is real graphic and real harsh to even go through for myself, man. And I ain't taking no enjoyment in any of these poor souls who may have went through this, man. So understand that, man. You know what I'm saying? Part of being who we are, we have to still have empathy and sympathy for people, man. You know what I'm saying? Just like you want sympathy for your own, right? So John Grammer ordered his plantation overseer to beat his white slave 100 times with a cat o' nine tail. With a cat o' nine tail. Y'all gotta check that out. It's saying the white slave died of his wounds, right? The overseer, rather than expressing regret at the death he inflicted, stated, I could have given him 10 more. I could have given him 10 times more. There was thousands of cases in colonial archives of inhuman mistreatment, cruelty, beating, and the entire lanty of Uncle Tom's Cabin. Okay, y'all guys read Uncle Tom's Cabin. I think Uncle Tom's Cabin is by fuck is that this guy named Tom Sawyer. I think I read that back in the day. Whatever. I think that was something we had in school, Uncle Tom's Cabin, all right? That's what a lot of story of Huckleberry Finn and all that dealing with Tom Sawyer. A lot of that research, a lot of that stuff was dealing with white slavery, man. You know, yeah. I mean, it's kind of graphic, man. It's very graphic. Let me see something. Let me go down. All right. You know what? I don't want to read that, man. That's another young girl. So it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not like fun, like to be going through some of the stuff. But for the historical purposes, man, we must say it, bro. Because this is what they were saying they was doing to you, right? So these are all my notes too, by the way, just so you know. All right, so read through a little bit more. All right, so check this out right here, right? Listen to this. The British colonial government was not averse to calling on unlikely policemen, right? Saying to suppress white slave revolts. So they had white slave revolts. What? It's saying blacks were admitted to the colonial militia responsible for policing white slaves. What? Oh, yeah. Oh, you guys forgot who I am, right? Let's continue. In Maryland in 1715, a reward was offered to American Indians who were recruited as bounty hunters to recapture runaway whites and return them to their masters. What? All right. It's saying for the better discovery and the encouragement of our neighbor Indians to seize and apprehend or take up any runaway servant. It was decreed that for every fugitive white laborer the Indians caught and brought before the magistrate, they shall for a reward have a match coat paid him. No, a match coat, that's how they say it. A match coat paid him or them or value thereof. All right. Here it is. This is why in Bacon's rebellion, why you had so many of these black men that was taking these white women. It wasn't white women or white men that was taking black women. At first, it was black men taking white women, right? Now check this out: the toughness and sturdiness of the white slaves who not only fought in Bacon's rebellion, but took the worst duties in the French and Indian wars and the American Revolution. What? Wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. 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 This doesn't sound like the history that we've been taught. This shit seems like a straight reversal of everything that we've been taught, and all of this stuff have been applied to us, right? So it's saying may have been due in part to the presence of convicts in their ranks. Convicts provided the colonies with cannons, folders against the Spanish, the French, and the Indians. Okay, not only the colonials look with favor or relents. It's saying upon white convicts, slave labor to build America. Benjamin Franklin opposed white slavery and supposedly referred to white convict slaves shipped to America as human serpents. What? As human serpents. So he referred to, you got to start saying now, well, maybe Benjamin, I don't know. Maybe Benjamin, even though we got that folly, not the folly of colonialism, but when you got the stuff that Benjamin Franklin was talking about, right? You got a lot of things in there, man. A lot of stuff is just don't make no sense, right? Now check this out. We're gonna do the white slave rebellions. Now listen to this shit. It's saying fear of rebellions by white slaves led to a passage of the Virginia law to suppress unlawful meetings and directed that all masters of families be enjoyed to take especially care of. I'm sorry. Let me see. Enjoined to take especially care that servants do not depart from their houses on Sundays or any other days without particular, I can't pronounce that, license from them. Individuals act of rebellions by white slaves were constant, and many slave masters were killed. Unrest among white servants was more or less chronic. Okay? During the third quarter of the 17th century, impoverished white laborers have kept the Virginia province on the brink of civil war. In the Caribbean counties, white slaves revolted by burning the sugar canes. What? Listen, man, listen. This whole slave shit that we've been taught was dealing with them, man. Straight the fuck up. They wasn't no servants like some people might say or whatever. Like, come on now, because this story is consistent with the shit they saying about us. Everything I'm reading is consistent with the stories they saying about us, right? Listen to this, man. Where was we at? All right, right here. In the Caribbean white colonies, white slaves revolted by burning the sugar canes of their slave masters to the utter ruins and undoing their masters. Lured to colonial America with the promise of teaching jobs, Thomas Hillier was instead enslaved as a field worker. That betrayal combined with the viciousness, of his slave master's wife led him to kill the slave master entire family with an axe in 1678. Hellier was believed to have been the inspiration of Bacon Rebellion 2 years before. Okay? Okay? These white people who fucking, man, come on, man. A whole story that they told you was dealing with these people, my dude. Okay? All of it, man. I mean, I can go on and go on. This is a good book too, right? So let's go to this other book right here, man. Something else I found. All right, hold up. Let me go back up right here. All right, so this is an article that I got, but I got the book right there too. This is White Slavery in Antebellum South and Civil War Era, little known phenomenon, right? Now we just went over what the forgotten cause of Civil War was, right? But check this shit out. It's saying when one researches primary source material of the 19th century American South. Occasionally, one find the enigmatic reference to white slaves or individuals who were in reality Caucasians, but were sold or held in bondage by crooked masters or slave dealers for a variety of reasons. A number of the publications exist on the subject today, but one wondered exactly how many whites were in reality enslaved, since cases and or accounts of such incidents are numerically significant, right? All right, so for example, the abolitionist newspaper, the National Anti-Slavery Standard, published in New York City for March 9th, 1861. Okay, 1861, printed an incident of a slave being sent back to Topper County, Mississippi from Illinois. It's saying who, according to the Cairo, they go Egypt and Illinois, right? Gazette claimed he was actually white and had every appearance of being so. The individual name was Henry Lee. It's saying an alias, Henry Jones. So these niggas are shooting aliases and shit, right? Hold on, let me see something. All right, let's go on. Let's read this joint right here. The Philadelphia Public Ledger for December 27, 1860, nigga. 1860, the same time they told you were slaves. But at the same time they saying you were slaves, they finding white slaves, and then you actually finding black slave owners. So you got to tell me somebody is lying, because it can't be both. And if it is both, it's probably, if it was so-called aborigines who were enslaved, because now I got mad videos on Indian slavery, man. And now I'm starting to, like, I'm starting to like I said, man, this information contradicts itself as the more and more you start researching, man. You understand what I'm saying? And now, even that can be a twofold. We just read that they was paying black people to be fucking the police, the fucking white slaves. When have you ever? So let me get this straight, right? So you treated the so-called black Africans that you brought here better than you treat your own white brethren? Or was these people black that wasn't like it's like this stuff has so many different layers of understanding that one has to really think about. You know what I'm saying? You gotta really think this stuff over because it's a lot of stuff going on. All right. Um. All right. So let's read a little bit of this right here. All right, so it's saying 1860, reprinted an article from the Natchez, Mississippi newspaper entitled "Painting a White Girl and Make Her a Slave," right? It's saying it was stated how a man from Natchez was on a steamboat on its way to Greenville, Mississippi, when he noticed a young girl aged 9 or 10 with black hair and yellow brown skin, right? It's saying he was told she belonged to a gentleman on board who was taking her to New Orleans to be sold for $160, man. Okay. Now I read about this before. They said they dye her skin, right? It's saying taking the white girl alone. It's saying an inquisitive passenger was informed by the girl how she was an orphan and had been taken from an asylum in New York, and that her hair has been light originally, but her master dyed her hair black and also put some yellow dye on her skin, right? All right, don't you find that kind of crazy? Let's go in this book right here. So that's just some more information on that. Let's go in here. This is a heavyweight bill right here. All right, so this is white cargo. All right. Now listen, it's saying it took 5 years before the importation of convicts was banned by laws across the United States, right? It's saying, and in that period, 7 convict ships secretly brought their cargo to America, and at least 2 successfully landed them. It's saying, however, the Mercury debacle, it's saying sounded the death knell for the convict trade. Let me open this up, man. Let me open this up a little bit. Where the fuck was I? All right, right here, the convict trade. It's saying it forced the British Parliament to accept that America would never again be the dumping grounds for the Britain convicted criminals, right? Which we talk about. It's saying in 1785, the parliamentary committee concluded with regret that the ports of the United States have been closed against the importation of criminals. Australia has by then been selected as an alternative. Now you hear this shit, right? Remember, they didn't go to Australia till later on, right? But they're telling you that they selected Australia to be an alternative, right? Don't you see white people in Australia? Hmm. 2 years later, a fleet set out for Botany Bay in New South Wales, carrying a cargo of 750 convicts. Among them were some of those that Britain has desperately tried to offload in America, right? It's saying for the American white slave trade. All right. All right. So let me see something. Because I got some other shit up here. I'll go back down right here. Oh no, I want to read that right there. This is what I was looking at right here. Boom. In the mid 1660s, a high proportion of working population in Barbados were Irish. Some of what we know of the population of Irish in the Indies and their conditions comes from the priests who traveled to minister them. It's saying, according to Father John Grace, 12,000 Irish lived in Barbados and surrounding islands. He also reported 600 Irish slaves in a small island off St. Chris, Chris, whatever, Christopher. All right. It's saying an official observer who report. No, I'm sorry. Official observer who report is preserved in the state paper reported that in 1667 Barbados had no more than 760 proprietors and 8,000 effective men, who which a great part of Irish derided by the Negroes as white slaves, right? So I just found that something interesting right there. Let me see something. All right, boom. Now look. All right, look, check this out. They telling you that the motherfucking whites was Africans in this part too, right? There was recruiting rebellions in 1649. A major slave uprising was put down only because the African slave girl informed upon the Mintonese, right? It's saying off the island of St. Christopher, Irish deportees rebelled in 1666. The following year, the Irish and the Montserrat rebelled. It's saying the English authorities hung up to 400 rebels. Okay. In 1670, they talking about white people right there that came from Africa. Okay. In 1675, after a series of conspiracies and disturbances in Jamaica, martial law was declared. In the same year in Barbados, a major of rebellions by Africans. They're not talking about black people, they talking about white people. Okay. It's saying was planned across a large number of plantations. The plot foiled and 110 slaves was charged with conspiracy, and the conspirators knew what awaited them if found guilty. 5 took their own lives before they were brought to trial. 52 slaves was executed by the most brutal fashion, 6 being burnt alive and 11 being beheaded. Okay. All right, so look, let's read some of this right here. Even though that they talking about these are black people, which I doubt it very highly, because we already see the evidence, man. So let me see something. Let me make sure I got everything covered that I wanted to cover. Let me go back here. Touched on everything here. Yeah, we did touch on everything here. All right, let me go back into this right here, and let's. Oh, you know what? I got something else I wanted to pull up real quick. I think it's over here. All right, yeah. Just to let you know, when I was telling you about Charles V, right? This is African Americans and Native Americans, right? By Jack Forbes, right? Check this shit out. Let me see something. All right, this is it right here. All right, so it said the Portuguese began quite early to try to find markets for Brazilians outside of Portuguese Empire, right? So it's saying a Portuguese captain later proposed to the ship Brazilian slaves to Haiti, right? It's saying, and initially 6 or 7 were sent. In 1550, however, Charles V, okay, Charles V, Carlos Quinto, whatever you want to call him, resolved not only not I mean, I'm sorry, resolved not to allow the introduction of the Brazilians as slaves. Okay? So let me go down. I wanted to show you the other part what he said. All right, here it go. It's saying a greater number appeared in 1501. It's saying 6 and 1525. 6 also. In the latter year, two females with two children, it's saying lost patch holes passed before the officials of Casa de Contract Tree, whatever. It's saying without interference. After 1534, the number may have increased still further as Charles V lifted the prohibit on American enslavement. Okay, so when we talk about Charles V, Charles V, we talking about this guy right here. He's also, like I said, I showed you, he's Carlos Quinto, which he's on the Incas list right here. This is him, the last one right here. You see that damn cross, meaning this is after they came here and applied their fuckery upon us, right? And still, all the other Incas is black as well, just like Carlos Quinto, right? And say Holy Roman Emperor Charles V, aka Carlos Quinto, right? It's saying the fifth Inca emperor, right? So let me see something real quick because I had something up here. All right, I'm gonna play around with this shit from this point on. Let me see. Let me see this one right here. So the Byzantine Empire is the same motherfuckers as they the same fucking people as the Christians, man. So don't get thrown off. They the Romans too, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if this is what I was looking for. Cause I got a couple things up here. Let me see. Cause they the ones who gave these people this term, slaves and shit. The Byzantines. All right, I could use this right here. All right, so slavery in the Byzantine Empire, right? And how you know? Let me show you something. All these niggas is part of the Byzantine Empire. Let me see. Well, you see this right here? Same as the Roman flag, that double-headed bird. Showed you this shit before right here. It's the Byzantine flag. Same thing you see right here when you see Charlemagne. Let me see Charlemagne on this picture. And these are all the motherfuckers that came here and did what they did to us as well. So don't think that, by them doing what they did. See, this is one of the flags right here. But this is a single head bird. But you'll see, I think the double headed bird is a conjointment of the lower Roman Empire as well as the upper Roman Empire. Hmm. You know what? I think it was on the other page. Oh yeah, it was on the other page. All right, let me go down. Oh yeah, this shit gets serious, man. You know, you see right here. You see right here, right? Look how little these people look, right? Look how big this motherfucker look on this horse. Unless these children right here, they might be children or whatever, but he looked big as hell on this horse though, right? But you know, this is the king of Portugal at that time, right? Mm, hold up, cause I got some other things I want to show y'all real quick. Let me go back. You know what? Let me go back to the. See what it says? Black Germans, right? Meaning you think the white people was Germans first, and then they became black, or was the black people always Germans and the white people just became Germans in the late 1800s or early 1800s, man? You see this? It's a Byzantine, some motherfucking Negro right here. And you see, as I showed, you see right here, this is where most of their army was at, right here where Rome is at and all this shit right here. You see all this is where the Byzantine, and you see the territories, Byzantine Empire right here, also the pink right here, right? Let me see something. Let me see if I can find Charlemagne. I know he's on here. You see the Franks is black too, right? But the Franks ain't nothing but the Arcadians. Let me see. All right, they go Charlemagne right there, right? You see, got that same bird. That other bird might be updated a little bit more, but it's the same fucking bird. It's the same bird you see on the outside of Tenochtitlan land. Okay, same fucking same shit. Just like that. Let me see something. Just like we was talking about the other day, man. Shout out to my brother Coda as well, man. Because we be going over some of this work, man. Got to definitely get a brother credit for a lot of information that he put out there. You know, I done seen a lot of this stuff already though, but you know, he has a good perspective to it, right? So this is motherfucking. Let me see, what the fuck was that nigga name? See the flag right there behind this guy right here? And look at this nigga right here. This nigga's decked out. This nigga got a motherfucking platinum suit on, nigga. This nigga shitting on all you niggas, man. Look, nigga got a platinum suit on with a gold fucking sword, man. Look at this shit. Look, see that flag again? That's the same fucking flag. Same shit. And also that's Montezuma flag too. If you see after Carlos Quinto became Montezuma the second, right? You see that same fucking flag behind them. And it's funny, we was going over this shit the other day, man. Look at this shit right here. Who you think is in charge right here? Even though this ain't got nothing to do with Aborigines, but who you think is in charge in this picture right here? Think the cracker's in charge, or you think the man right here with this motherfucking suit on and this sword right here, and this man right here got this crossbow, and this nigga got a stick in his hand, right? These niggas got sticks in his hand. These niggas got weapons. So who you think is in charge? Who you think was running who? And these are all part of the Byzantine Empire. You understand? I mean, this history just go crazy, man, when you really start understanding a lot of this stuff, man. This nigga decked out, got a whole golden suit on, man. I mean, a whole fucking platinum joint, right? Look, they got that double fucking bird again, okay? And like I said, these are the same motherfuckers that came here and did what they did to us in Tenochtitlan, man. Because that flag, after they came here, after Carlos Quinto became Montezuma II, they took over, man. They took over Tenochtitlan. And these was done by our own fucking people, right? So let's move it on, man. Let's go to something else, right? So, you know, we went over the word slave plenty of times, man, right? Went over this term, but as you see, you will see. Slave, person, chattel property of another, right? Right here, just like Michael Hoffman was saying, the word "see slough" so used in secondary sense because of the many sloughs sold into slavery by conquering people. Okay, the oldest written history of the sloughs can be shortly summarized as the Madrid slave hunts and the entrailment of the entire people. Okay, the entrailment of the entire people. Okay. We don't even need to Google. Let's just do it just for the fuck of it, right? Let's just Google. Let's Google images of sloughs. Let's say Slavic people. Okay. Now look. So these are Slavic people right here. They don't look no different from a Sweden, a Russian, a motherfucking German. They all look the fucking same, man. Look. So these are Slavic people. You seeing Negroes up there? You see any Negroes up here? So these are Slavic people. You see any Negroes up here? Yes and no? No, you do not, right? I mean, the history is the history, man. Like, fuck it, man. I mean, might as well give them back their fucking history, man. Because they run around here telling us that we these people and other people is agreeing to it by saying they was indentured servants, but the word Slav is applied to them. So how the fuck? So they were the slaves, no matter, even if you want to call them indentured servants, they still were slaves, right? So it say the what? The entrailment of the entire people. Okay? The entire fucking people, y'all. Now let me see something real quick. I wanna just see this real quick. Because a lot of people think that Germans, I can't find it, or Germans, Slavs. Let me see something real quick. All right, boom. All right, so boom. All right, so check this out. You got to understand this too, right? I just showed you that the original Germans was black people, right? So when you read this, don't think that the Germans, even though they're going to show you a picture of white people, but we already know that's not right and exact. Let me see. I hate when this shit be doing this dumb shit. Hold on, let me go back out, y'all. All right, boom. Here we go. Let's get into this. Now, I said, according to the Byzantine writer, Slavs could not be forced into slavery, right? Now, we beg a differ with that, right? Let me see. Because I ain't never read this one before. All right, so it says not only contemporary language were the equation of Slavs to slaves was first made, as mentioned, it has origins in Latin and latter derives its meaning from the medieval Greek of the Byzantine Empire, which started to use a form of Slav in the sixth century, long before Otto the Great reigned. Right now, Otto the Great is in there somewhere. I gotta find him though, but he's in one of them pictures that I just showed y'all. Right, saying it's important to note that Slavs were referred to well before the period when German emperors troops took thousands of them captive. Okay, some more images. Saying during the time of the Slavic expansion, it's saying they attacked the Byzantine Empire. It's saying in the Balkan, destroyed Greek and places and took inhabitants as slaves. Historians such as the famous Soviet and Russian researcher Igor, I can't pronounce his last name, emphasizes that many slaves were taken by Slavs, also shown in sources mentioned by the historians. The slaves of this era in part of the world was mainly Greek. Right? It said, according to the prominent Byzantine historians, it's saying every year, starting from the early period of the European Justinian reigns in 527 AD, it's saying the slave raids took many captives and turned the land into, I can't pronounce that, a desert rather. All right. All right. So that kind of touches on this right here, right? The entrapment of the entire people. The Slav was the most prized good prized amongst human goods. When increased strength outside his marshy land, the origin hardened the utmost against his privation. Industrious, content, with little good humor, right? It's saying, and cheerful, he filled the slave markets of what? Europe, Asia, and Africa, right? It must be remembered for every Slavic slave to reach his destination, at least 10 succumb to inhuman treatment during the transportation and the heat of the climate, okay? Now, as we go down right here, they start talking about the Byzantines, right? Said Arabian geographic, I guess that's how geographer of the ninth century tells us how the Magyars dominated all the Slavs dwelling near them. Okay, it's saying the Magyars made raids upon the Slavs and took their prisoners along the coast of Kirk. I guess that's correct. Kirk. It's saying where the Byzantines came to meet them and gave Greeks brocades, and such wares in exchange for prisoners. All right. And here they go mention the Byzantines again. All right. But I got something else for you I wanted to touch on. Let me see. Since we building on this, let me go back here real quick. Which this shit led me to this. Let me see something. So let's go to Homo. And like I said, once again, man, shout out to my brother Coda for these bills we be doing, man. A lot of information, very informative. Like I said, I learned too. I learned from individuals as well, right? So Homo sapien, my man, right? All right. So it's saying Latin from homo, man, right? It's saying man. It's saying technically a male human, right? A male human, right? But it's saying human beings see homunculus. I'm gonna go to homunculus in a minute, right? It's saying homos as a genus of the human race within the order of primates. Okay, within the order of primates, was formerly in modern Latin originally included chimpanzees. Okay, so do you guys think you Homo sapiens? You guys related to primates within the orders of primates? And they also talk about Homo sapiens as being technically male humans, right? So let's go back into this. Right here. All right, let's go to the Book of Inky. Okay, check this out. Mhm. We'll take a minute. We're gonna go back to homunculus, right? All right, so I mean, the way my mind works, as if these people been lying from day one. So this is the Book of Inky right here, right? All right. So in the Lost Book of Inky, we can view this saga from a different perspective through this richly conceived autobiographical autobiographical, I guess that's how you saying. It's saying, according to the Lord Inky, an Anunnaki god who tells the story of these and extraterrestrians arrive on Earth from the 12th planet of Nibiru. It's saying the object of their colonization is saying gold to replenish their dying atmosphere of their home planet, finding the precious metals result in the Anunnaki creations of Homo sapiens, the human race, to mine this important resource, right? Let's go down. It's saying short of manpower, the astronaut employed genetic engineering to fashion primitive workers, Homo sapiens. It's saying the deluge, meaning I think the flood or before the flood, the catastrophically swept over the earth required a fresh start. The astronaut became gods, granting mankind civilization, teaching to worship. All right, but still tells you about Homo sapiens right there, right? So let's go back into homunculus, right? Let's click on this. So it said homunculus, tiny human being produced artificially. Okay, tiny human being produced artificially. This is the fucking stem of the word Homo sapien, right? Produced artificially, literally, little people, which technically meant male humans, right? But it also was used with a sense of the human race, mankind. All right, now if you guys think you fall into place with this, then I don't know what the hell you guys are listening to or what you watching. All right, all right. So it's saying tiny human beings produced artificially, right? Why you think when we go to the word Homo sapien, excuse me, why you think we go to the word Homo sapiens, saying technically male, but in the logic and scholastic writings, human beings? See homunculus, right? We seen homunculus, and it's saying tiny human beings produced artificially. Okay, okay. Now, like I said, all of that shit go back to this. Go back to the word slave, man. It all go back to this word right here, man. It all go back to all of this, man. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's all I got tonight, man. Let me see something. Did I have some more for you guys up here? No, I think that's it, man. I think that's it. I think I went over everything for the most part. Touched on pretty much of everything. Um, yeah, so that's about it. So let me see what you guys are talking about in the back chat. Alright, peace to everybody, man. Peace to all the Aborigines. What we got going on up here, man? Peace to my brother, nonetheless. Once again, we reviewing the motherfucking crime scene, right? Peace to Mr. Dark, brother. Been rocking with me from day one. Peace to my brother Jaguar Olmec. Nigga, call me when you get a chance, man. Peace to the sister Southwind. They got your name too in this Anunnaki book right here. Let me see something. Let me show you something. What Southwind means, according to what Zachariah Stitchin was saying, right? Let me see. I think it's separate. Let me see. Oh, there you go, right there. Southwind, a satellite moon of Nibiru. I just found that interesting when I was reading through that. But they got all of the terminologies in the back of the book of Inky. Talks about all of this shit, man. Look, primitive worker, the first genetically engineered earthling. Okay, you see this? The first genetically engineered earthling, which take you back to homunculus, which means tiny human beings artificially produced, which take you back to the word homo sapien, which means primate or descendants of fucking chimpanzees, like Darwin was saying. This is not in reference to us. Okay, just like the term slave is not in reference to us. Okay, we just went through all of these different scenarios. We read different literature that basically told you that all these stories that they telling you that was about us happened to them in this country on this continent. Okay, we're not supposed to find a book such as this, such as the free Negro slave owners, right? And since I got some more time, we can go through a little bit more of this, right? We're not supposed to find a book dealing with slave owners. That's listen. This is we just read 10 slave owners, man. This book got thousands of them in it. 10 black slave owners, right? This book got thousands of so-called Negro slave owners, man. We also talked about how the European was recruiting so-called blacks to police the white slaves. What, like, we have never heard that before, right? Look, still, we gonna go. Let's take a walk through this, man. All right, this is in Maine. You have black people owning slaves in Maine, man. See this shit? Look at this, Maryland, right? So in 1830, you had black people owning slaves in Maryland. Look, whole page of this shit, Maryland. I think Maryland's continued as well. Let me see. It's a good book, man. Shout out to Carter G. Woodson, man, for bringing forth this research. Um, Look, Maryland continued, right? And as you see, there's a constant reference of 55 to 100-year-old so-called people. I mean, not all of them are slaves because, in one, like this situation, James Anderson, he had one slave and there was 6 total people in the household, which means 5 of them probably was family members or whatever. But like I said, when they trying to tell you, oh, these people own black slaves, but according to what we just read, then you cannot throw the possibility that these people were white people. Okay? You cannot throw that shit out. Okay? Look, more in Maryland. Look, more in Maryland, right? Look at this shit. Shit is hilarious, man. See this shit, look. More in Maryland. Maryland continued, right? Look, and these are all Negro slave owners, okay? These are all Negro slave owners, man. More in Maryland, right? Look, Maryland continued. Son, this is crazy. Look, more in Maryland. Look, Maryland keep on going. And you still see people from the range of 55 to 100 years old, man. You tell me what's going on. You tell me that they ain't rewrite history, man. You know what I'm saying? One thing, first they told you the Civil War was the free black people, but yet we find literature that's telling us that we find literature right here in the Forgotten Cause of the Civil War that's telling you that say a white person and a person who has a distant black ancestor but no discernible black traits look the same and both are psychologically white human beings. It was the common thinking in the North to hold that slaves who looked like white people were white people and not mulattoes and not blacks. So when you got people saying, "Oh, these was mulattoes that they was keeping as slaves," no, they wasn't, because we just went through 6 books and numerous references that's telling you who the Slavs was, right? But in this case, it's saying all will be seen in the political ramifications of white slavery was the ultimate cause of the Civil War. Okay, the ultimate cause of the Civil War. So I thought the Civil War was to free black people, but guess what though? Even among the time when you saying black people was in bondage, here we go. We finding motherfucking black slave owners. I mean, we went through the book, but I mean, we gotta start. You gotta question. You have to really start asking these questions, man. Because like I said, man, most researchers don't want to talk about this, man. And was it, like I said, man, listen, I'm not trying to justify any of this history. If people was created to be servants and later that shit was applied to us, man, I mean, I believe that's foul just in any way, which way you look at it, right? But the even fouler part will be trying to apply that shit onto you, knowing goddamn well it was them. You know what I'm saying? And this right here, when you really ponder this shit, man, this makes you feel like who you are. This is the reason why this is the reason why our history started when in 1619. But according to them, in 1619 they was bringing white people here. Oh, they was taking blacks in Barbados. Oh, wait a minute. You saying that they was taking white people in Barbados too? Oh, they was using the white militias. Oh no, you was saying that they was employing black militias to police white slaves. Now I know goddamn well all these fucking sources. I'm not wrong about this shit, man. So I don't know, man. Like I said, man, this really go deep, man. You know what I'm saying? And this lady right here, Maria met Toya. She owned 287 slaves in 1830. 287 slaves in 1830. Okay? In 1830. Okay? Or you tell me what the fuck is going on, because I would like to know. Okay? Okay. Oh, the Civil War was to free black slaves, and the Emancipation Proclamation. Nah, I'm not going with that, bro. And how can we easily use our common fucking sense? Because there's no way possible. It's no way possible that in 1874, which is 10 years, well, 9 years after the so-called Civil War and Emancipation Proclamation, should black people own $57 million and 70,000 of them was a depositor. You know how much money? Do you know how much money damn near $800,000 would have been in 1874? We talking about 70,000 people. Okay? Do you know how much money $80,000? Now I just broke it down. Okay, it's a little over 8,000 people. It's a little over 800,000, or roughly around that range, right? Of the 7,000, the 70,000 depositors, right? The average of them, their average deposit was $800 million. I mean, I'm sorry, $800,000. Okay, you know how much 800,000 would have been in 1874? You know how much 57 million would have been in 1874? Hmm? That would have been the equivalent of probably fucking. I mean, I ain't gonna say 57 billion. It might have been fucking 57 trillion. You know what I'm saying? $57 million in deposits and over 70,000 depositors in 1874. Fuck out of here, man. Because this was the real reason what it was for right here. All will be seen, the political ramifications of white slavery was the ultimate cause of the Civil War. But yet they running around here telling us that the Emancipation Proclamation was to free us. Okay? So I'm done with this bill, man. I got a few more other bills I'm probably gonna do probably this week, man. But it's been kind of tough, man, cause my daughter home and she got homework and stuff like that, and she need help with it. So, I have to step up to the plate and become the teacher. So I don't be having a lot of time to do some of the bills that I want to do or whatever. At least until the I guess a school marking period over. I don't think they going back to school no time soon or whatever. Probably in September, but. Yeah, man, you gotta sit here and teach the children, man. You know how it go, man. Um, but damn, man, I hope you guys enjoyed this, man. Real talk, man. Cause like I said, at the end of the day, man, you have to look at the fucking history, man. These people been lying, man, and it like we see it all around the world. We see it all around the fucking board, man. That's right, Stephen Red Clay. You right about that, brother. You absolutely Donald Lee, man. Peace, my brother. Original Intellect, peace, my brother. Mildred Moody, peace, sister. Um, Ty Hart, peace. Who else we got up in this piece? Um, Brother Jaguar, hit me up when you get a chance. Mr. Dark Brother, Pan, I'm a Rule Khan, peace to the brother, peace to the sister Southwind. Who else we got? Um, we got Quintez, peace to the brother. I guess I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know if you a brother or sister. I ain't trying to be funny neither. Lateral. I don't know if that's a male name or female. I ain't trying to be funny neither. But peace to you. Okay. Um, Chahak. I guess that's how you pronounce your name, my brother. Peace to you as well. Mama Bear. Peace to you. Hey man, I ain't mad. Y'all crafty with these names, man. Y'all very creative, man. That's what's up. I ain't mad at y'all. Copper Tone Tony, peace. Mr. Aboriginal Smith, peace. Gave a shot to the brother Stephen Red Clay. Saying brother Steve Moore, peace. Yeah, man. I'm just saying, like, it's a lot of history that people be keeping out and they don't be wanting to talk about, man. They get a white people to get a white people the nice terms and call them indentured servants when they was the only slaves. I don't who else was slaves then? They're saying we were slaves, but their history and their own people saying that they was the slaves. You see what I'm saying? Like we were saying the other day on Chief Channel. You be in a class and shit. We're all in a class together and shit, man. And then when the history teacher come out and start talking about slaves, and like, well, do anybody want to answer this question? Blank, blank, blank was the slave. Niggas be looking at each other like, yo, you want to answer that this time? Man, I answered that the last time. Nigga raised their hand like African Americans were slaves. You right. Yes, you got it. We're gonna give you a free sticker. Oh, matter of fact, I'm gonna give you an apple. You understand? And this is how we've been taught, man. And this shit is hilarious, man. It's really hilarious, man. Shout to Gretchen Hum. Shout to my brother Aboriginal Power. Peace to the brother. Um, MT Soul. Ancient One. Peace. Oh man, man. I appreciate all you guys, man. Like I said, D Style 94, peace. Appreciate you, brothers and sisters, coming through, man. Definitely do, man. April Dawn, what's up, sis? How you been? Cherokee, peace. Rude Ebo, where the hell you been at? Peace, sis. Omega Red, peace, my brother. Who else we got up in here? Aboriginal Think Tank. What book is what? Aboriginal Think Tank. What book was you talking about? Put it in. I don't know if you're still in now, but you could put it in the chat room now. I'm sorry, I couldn't see the chat. All right, here go one right here. I can't pronounce your name, my brother, man. But I'm a Paw Washington, peace. The Tournica, peace. Tyrone Bay, what's up, my brother? All right. Copper Color Fox, Empress Copper Fox, peace, peace, sis. My brother, is that my brother Blue? Peace to the brother Blue. I ain't seen you in a while, neither, man. How you been, Blue? Hope everything good with you, my brother. T1 Production, peace. I mean, this is what I'm about, man. Simeon the Atheist Killer, peace. I'm not about the drama shit, man. Aboriginal Copper, no, American Copper, Aboriginal Sun, Energy, peace to the brother. DOT, peace. Think I got you, Tyrone Bay. Cool 644, peace. Yeah, man. I mean, look, bro. I'm not beefing with nobody. These fake ass thug niggas, man. This fake ass YouTube beef. This ain't no fucking beef. You understand what I'm saying? This ain't no fucking beef for nigga just making random motherfucking videos and shit and just saying some shit and hiding, man. This ain't no beef, man. This is some clown shit, man. I ain't got no beef with nobody. Motherfuckers got beef with me. So, I mean, that goes to show you that niggas be hating for no reason, man. I ain't got it. I ain't autonomous copper main piece, my brother. I don't know if a lot of you guys are still in though, but brother, you could put that book in the chat room and I'll tell you which one it was. I'm sorry, y'all know I'm not really, organized when it comes to this shit, man. I just be trying to like I said, the ancestors moved me with this shit, man. Let me see something. Damn, did you put it in? Libra Sun, peace to the God, my brother. Christina Hillard, peace, sis. chick homie roots, peace. American Wild, peace. That's right. Peace to the gods, man. In La East Elakaim. I'm getting better at saying that too. I gotta say that the case, like, trying to pronounce it, man. But hey, man, Newcon, peace. Keith Wynn, peace. You know, matter of fact, you know what? Let me put the excuse me 1 second. I'm gonna open the chat up for a minute. We could build for a minute. Put the link in. All right, hold on 1 second, you guys. I don't know if AP still in, but I'm about to send you the link, AP. Yeah, man. I mean, as far as this history, man, it has to be rewritten, man. And I'm gonna tell you some shit, man. I don't think these people want this history to come out, bro. You understand? So I mean, they be glad that motherfuckers be going back and forth on the YouTube channel arguing about stupid ass fucking points or some silly shit. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of this information can't come out. And like I said, man, in no way or form am I'm sitting up here saying that slavery was good to any of these people that went through. We read some things about some children, and I'm not with that shit at all, man. I got children, man, and like I said, man, I wouldn't wish no harm to nobody's children, friend. Nobody's children, man. Not even my worst enemy, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, even reading through some of that stuff is sad, man. But guess what, though? That's the same story they said that happened to us. But just to see that happen to other people, it's more shocking than it is. I mean, it's still sad. You still, like you said, got empathy and everything, man. But at the end of the day, man, that's the same history that we got to be forced to listen to, man. We gotta go hear this shit in February or hear anytime we in any of these history classes when they talk about slavery, niggas in the back of the class and shit, you know what I'm saying? Niggas ducking and shit like, you know what I'm saying? But then when you stand up and say, wait a minute, that word Slav means Slavic, or that word slave means Slavic. So how the fuck am I the Slavic? It'd be crickets, man. It'd be crickets, man. You know what I'm saying? So let me see. Let me send a link out real quick. All right, you guys. Anybody want to come in? I'm gonna send you the link. No more peace, brother. Ben Aniyawanya. Peace, my brother. I got a link right there, you guys. Guys, welcome to come through. Get a quick build before I get up out of here, man. But yeah, man. I mean, it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to teach the history, man. That's right, Southland. We knew what we knew then, what we know now. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Niggas would have been, the teacher would have ran out the classroom and shit like, you ain't supposed to know that. Cause trust me, they know who the fuck the slaves where the word Slav came from, man. You can best believe that shit. They know exactly where that fucking term came through. You know what I'm saying? Um, like I said, man, just let me just recap some of this shit that we was reading through, man. Like this shit is crazy. Let me see something. Where's that other book at? All right, hold on. Let me see something. Let me make sure. Oh yeah, all right. This the ones I had marked. I found that shit to be funny, right? I mean, not funny, like I said, man. You know, it's sad that anybody had to go through this, man. You know what I'm saying? The reality is hard, but you know, we've been going through this shit all our life thinking that this shit was us, man. You know what I'm saying? All your life you went through this shit. People telling you the slave and you ain't never built nothing and you just been a damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. You know, I mean, it's sad, man. It's sad that, you know, you got to do the research and find out the real history of it, man. It's real sad, man. Real talk. I'm not like, I'm definitely not no oppressor, man. I ain't no oppressor. I ain't trying to oppress nobody, but don't think I won't beat a nigga ass, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not like, you know, I definitely have a soft spot for people, man, but don't get it fucked up, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these suck ass niggas be on YouTube with no content. They just want to stir up beef. And then this takes away from a lot of this research and a lot of this history, man, that could be put out there. But you know what it is? Because some people can't make a 2 or 3 hour video and put sources and put research up there. They just got to keep talking about one talking point and then keep talking about themselves. So like when you guys get off of that, just make a YouTube channel where you talking about yourself. Don't make a YouTube channel and try to make it, oh, this is an Aborigine channel. And then try to police the Aborigine or the people that's in the community. And you ain't been a fucking Aborigine no longer than 5 fucking years. And people running around here trying to police the fucking community and bringing these fucking sucker ass niggas around, man. And like I told people in the last bill, if you fuck with that nigga Aboriginal Mac, don't fuck with me, man. Cause if you keep friends like that, that shows me your character, who you are. You understand what I'm saying? Me personally, I don't hang with no nigga. Nigga talk bragging about, oh man, I quit a body. Like you think I hang around clowns like that? Even though the nigga fucking lying, and even if he ain't lying, who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck. You saying you did that shit, that you think a motherfucker intimidated by that? Cause a real nigga ain't gonna mention no shit like that online or even say nothing of the fuck. Ain't no nigga online gonna be like, man, when I get done with this bite, man, shut the fuck up. You lying, nigga. You ain't gonna kill nothing. You ain't gonna let nothing die, man. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, like I said, man, you know, a lot of keep these clown niggas away from me. Okay? Keep these niggas far away from me, man. I don't need no new friends or whatever besides the people who we build with that we constantly come across. Even the brothers and sisters in the chat room, man. Y'all my peoples, man. But these sucker niggas that come around and just be wanting to stir up arguments and stir up problems and like I said, man, if I'm wrong about something, I have no problem with being a bigger person and apologizing to the end because like I said, it's life, man. That shit doesn't take nothing away from nobody. Cause you had the guts or you could humble yourself and apologize and say when you wrong. That shit doesn't take nothing away from the real aspects of all this shit dealing with life, man. But when people slander your name, when people can't, when they have nothing to stand on and they start lying, start making stories up about individuals, then you gotta question that individual, man. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not making no videos where I'm just slandering people and saying stuff that's not true. That I don't even notice these individuals. Like I said, man, you guys be a better motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? Be better how you choose your company or choose the people around you, man. Because like I said, at the end of the day, man, you know, I'm not with all that. The less I gotta be tensed up and talk and disrespect motherfuckers. That all that do is contribute to the lower self, man. The higher self, you want peace, but we know life ain't all gonna be all about peace, man. But at the end of the day, man, you know, if you bring in that type of energy, if you want to just make videos, just to talk about people, and then on the other note, you talking about motherfuckers, right? You talking about people, and then when people talk about you, you want to play the whole, they picking on me, they doing all this, and you the one who wanted it. You said you didn't want no peace with nobody. But you keep feeding the fire, but then you want to play on that battered woman type shit, like, oh, did they fucking with me? I haven't done nothing to nobody. Yes, you did, and everybody see it. So, like I said, man, you guys be a better choice of character. Me personally, I don't care who anybody fuck with, but like I said, you fuck with that nigga Aborigine Mac and you bragging about fucking with him, don't just stay where you at, my dude. Like, I don't fuck around with niggas. Like, personally, I look at people character, man. If I see a man slandering somebody, and I know goddamn well whether you are that or you're not that, and you're not applying, you're not showing that, then this guy gotta be motherfucking lying because he don't know you. So with that being said, let me see if AP in the chat room. Let's see who we got in the back. If we got anybody in the back, nobody hit the chat. I mean the link to come on in. Guess not. Um, that's where I stand at with all this, man. It's about the research. That's it, man. I ain't here to tell no grown ass people on, oh, you should do. Nah, I ain't got time for that, man. And I ain't giving nobody no motherfucking advice and telling no, because when you give out advice and people run into the wall like the crash dummies, then they want to blame you for it or whatever. So, like I said, man, anybody want, to build or anything, or you want, you want to have, you want solutions for your so-called status or what you know what I'm saying? I can possibly, you know, give you some type of advice, or at least point you in the right direction. But as far as going on these YouTube channels and going on these live streams and giving people advice and telling people on what they should do and all this, that, and the third, I'm not doing that, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm really not doing that, man. You know? So shout out to everybody in the chat room, man. Shout out to all the brothers and sisters, man. Definitely enjoy you guys for coming through. Um, End of the day, like I said, man, stay sucker free. You know what I'm saying? If ain't nobody, if you around people who want constant drama, get away from them, man. Cause all that shit doing is pulling your energy down, man. You know what I'm saying? Just pull your energy down and make you into the type of person you don't want to be. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, man, I'm about to get out of here. I gotta go run and go do some things before I'll go jump in this motherfucking tank, this shower shit, get some things done or whatever though. But oh, hold up. All right, hold up. You said you need those books, Aboriginal Think Tank. All right, so look, check it out. These are the books, right? That I was reading from. And I'm gonna tell you another thing that motherfuckers don't want to tell you, man. You go to Internet Archives, man. A lot of these books are on there. I don't know if you're gonna find the Forgotten Cause of Civil War in there or whatever though, but a lot of these other books are on there, man. So you can download them in the PDF form or whatever, and take the books and and keep them for your own research, man, because this ain't just about going to nobody's channel getting research. This is your own documentations for your own, I don't want to say talking points, but as far as, when you're trying to prove to who you are or whatever, because like I said, every now and then there's a situation where somebody come with that, oh, black people were slaves, and it would be good to give them your point of view according to what you research. Who was the slaves? Um, Hold up. You said, all right. So think tank. Let me see something. All right. So the books. I don't know what book you was talking about, but the book I was reading from was African Native Americans by Jack Forbes. Um, the Book of Inky by Zachariah Stitchin. That was dealing with the homunculus and the Homo sapiens. They was white and they were slaves by Michael Hoffman. Michael Hoffman is the audio that I played in the beginning of the video that was talking about in the 1700s. There was no black slaves. All slaves is white. White slavery in the antebellum South. Hold up. This is an article, right? It's a book for this shit too, though. I gotta look. I'm not familiar with this author name. Let me see something. The author name is Daniel Ralph. Okay. White Cargo, right? Did I go through this book? Yeah, I went through this shit. I forgot all about this one. Let me see who the author of this book. This is a good book too, man. It ain't that long. Shit, I actually read through it in a couple of days. Oh, and the other book was The Forgotten Cause of Civil War. Let me get that author to you in a minute. Let me. I know I ain't sharing my screen no more neither, but all right. White Cargo is by Don Jordan and Michael Welsh. All right. Excuse me. Forgotten Cause of Civil War. Lawrence R. Tinzer. Okay, that's the author of this book right here. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. Like I said, if you guys want some of these books, man, just go on Internet Archives, and you can put a lot of these books in the search engine. And if these books are open, they'll let you get them. But if like some of the books you only can borrow them. So what I do is I read through them and just take screenshots of them. Like, you know what I'm saying? I take screenshots on the computer or whatever. Or if you can't, if your computer don't do it, take them with your phone and just upload them to your computer. You know what I'm saying? What else I got up here? Oh, okay, all right. This book right here. This is called. It's one by Carter G. Woodson, Negro Slave Owners in the South, 1830. The author name is Carter G. Woodson, and this is a great book, man, to really show and prove, man. Like, you know what I'm saying, when you presenting this, because you know what you do is you can easily trick people into this conversation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people ain't aware that black people own slaves. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, and even when you talk about the slaves, they're telling you that the slaves were so-called black people. When I beg a differ, when we can show information showing you that the same people telling you they brought Africans into Barbados, they telling you that the fucking white people was Africans and they was bringing them from Africa. This is where you get the term Africanus and all this shit from. So, you know, at the end of the day, man, you know, keep researching, man. Keep trying to find out. I mean, if there's something that interests you, you know what I'm saying. If you just want to do your lineage, and you want to find out your family tree and everything, man, that's wonderful, man. You know what I'm saying. You know, me personally, like, you know, I'm trying to turn up every stone in America or as much information as I can. You know what I'm saying, as far as this continent right here, man. Because we've been misled for so long to think that we're from Africa or we was, you know what I'm saying, part of these certain places over there, man. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, man, like I said, man, just keep enlightening yourself. Stay sucker free. Stay off these fucking channels where, man, everybody just want to beef and shit. If ain't nobody bringing you no tangible information, man. You know, I mean, I guess, I mean, unless you like it, man. If people like to hear that type of shit, then I don't know what to tell them. But me personally, man, I love to stay sucker free, man. I don't need these negative fucking sucker bitch motherfuckers who just want to stay around you with this negative energy, man. And like I said, I'm not trying to, like, you know what I'm saying, some of them stories we heard about them children and lashes and some of them being killed. You know, some of that shit is sad, man. It's sad to read that because don't nobody wanna be bigging up that type of shit. Even if it was European, don't nobody wanna be like, man, yeah, that's good. That ain't, you know what I'm saying? That's fucked up on behalf of everybody. And if people were created in artificial human beings, you know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother story to deal with, man. But it felt like it was something that was, necessary to bring to you as far as this information, man. So, at the end of the day, man, you guys keep doing what you're doing. Ain't none of you guys got COVID-19 because you guys are still rocking with us. So that means that, you know, you already know what that means. But for the most part, man, shout out to all the Aborigines, North and South. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Stay positive, man. Try to bring as much positive energy as you can around you and stay, like I say, stay sucker free, man. Cause some of these clowns out here, they not worthy of people fucking following anyone. Following them, listening to them or anything, man. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, let me check back in to see if anybody came in. Alright. Nobody came in. Let me see something. Mm-hmm. No doubt, Dion Williams, man. Peace, brother. Peace to everybody that just came in. Knowledge Seeker, peace. Mrs. Sandy Red, peace. Um, yeah, I mean, like I said, this history is yours. I ain't nobody but a humble servant of yours, man. I ain't trying to, I say I'm the God because I am. You guys are gods as well, gods and goddesses. So, we are all on the same level. It's just the level that we all gonna come together and just, and keep learning, man. You know, that's right, man. KRS, no, K dot S dot R. Peace, my brother. Thank you, man. Thank you. And like I said, man, you're not supporting me. You supporting yourself, man. Because anytime you buy any of the apparel and you out there rocking it, man, that's a statement for yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? We wear these trademarks, Nike and all that shit, man. I'm not saying I got some motherfucking some I got all that shit, man. But at the end of the day, that shit is material matter, man. It's about me representing myself and representing my history. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, like I said, man, people have no problem with edifying you and telling you who you aren't, basically. Because we just read through all this shit and found out who the people who they was calling slaves. And it's can't the same story can't apply to both of us. It's either it happened to them or it didn't. It can't apply to both of us because in 1 minute you saying that, oh, they was policing us, we was getting lashes and doing all this, but then when you start really doing the knowledge to it, you start seeing all of this shit, man. So no doubt, man. Love and light to everybody, man. And like H Elakaim. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you ladies, man. Like I said, once again, to all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. Every day is Mother's Day, but just for the sake that we're saying Mother's Day, we might as well give it some light, man. Um, and for the most part, man, that's all I got for now, yo. Until the next build, man. Anybody want to build or anybody got any questions, email me, please. You know what I'm saying? I know sometimes I take time to get to the emails, man. Like I said, I'm subscribed to almost 5,000 YouTube channels, and every time a YouTube channel come up, or every time somebody posts something or whatever, that shit comes in my email, and I sometimes I find myself searching. I got like almost 7 email addresses, so I will be checking it. Just got to start checking it after I do the bill, probably the next couple of days or whatever. So, like I said, once again, man, shout out to everybody in the chat room. Thank you for coming through. This is your information. Stay sucker free. Okay, sucker free. Keep that negative energy away from you. And at the end of the day, man, we are all the same people, and we all on this journey trying to learn together, man. So, you guys have a good night, man. You ladies and gentlemen have a good. I don't want to leave out the ladies or whatever. Y'all have a good night, yo. And with that being said, peace.